ton of questions heading the offseason for the Los Angeles Lakers, but all credit goes to the victors, and that is the Denver Nuggets. Good morning, everyone. Welcome into the opening drive here on 95.9 FM, AM 610, the sports animal. JJ Buck, Amory, or quarterback Ned James with you this morning. And the Lakers, they looked like the team expected after game one. They found a way. They can play with the Denver Nuggets, but something is missing in the second half. There's something about this Denver Nuggets team. They never flinched. Down 15 points at halftime, and it felt like, okay, this is the classic 3-0 game. Team wins to keep the series alive. The Nuggets are going to have to go back home to finish this one off, and that wasn't the case. A second half for the Denver Nuggets where they outscore the Lakers 55-38, and they're on their way to the NBA Finals.
Yes, great game. That's how you want NBA playoff games to be. You want all of them to be like that. Very competitive throughout, despite the Lakers taking that 15-point lead at halftime. I mean, I'm sure most people thought, okay, there's going to be a second half run, and there was one. I think they scored 21 points. And the Lakers had maybe 3 points or 4 points or something like that in that third quarter. And it's just a testament as to why the playoffs are great. This is a number one seed team. They're supposed to play like a number one seed team. A number one seed team is supposed to sweep a seventh seed or eighth seed team. And Denver showed why they are the number one seed. They are a superior team. I mean, you can because of all the accolades that LeBron James has had through his career. Of course, we want to say, hey, here's the king. Yet the king is old. The king is can't do it by himself. The king is, I shouldn't say old, he's older. But yet and still he can't do it by himself. Anthony Davis is, he plays, he's okay, but there's two stars. They just really couldn't the Lakers just really could not get that third star going. They tried numerous guys, the D'Angelo Russos, the Lonnie Walker the Forest, the Austin Reeves. They just don't quite have enough. I've said this for years, JJ. You've heard me say this about Denver since you got me to start watching the Denver Nuggets. I think this Michael Porter Jr. is the X factor. There is no matchup to him as the third guy. Everyone's watching Jokic and Murray, do their thing, but is there an answer to that third star who I think, he may not be a star to most people, but he's a matchup nightmare at 6'10". And so you can kind of get caught up in the Jokic, and Jokic just played out of his mind. I mean, the fadeaway 3-pointers and the off one leg, it's just, I mean, the guy is just playing phenomenal right now. He's in the zone. He and both Murray. But it was just a wonderful game to watch. LeBron James, he put on a superstar performance. But at the end of the day, it comes down to whether you win the game or not. It doesn't matter if it's close. Close only counts in horseshoes and hand grenades. You got to win the game. You got to win the game. And the Lakers didn't win the game. Everybody in America knew that ball was going to LeBron at the end of the game.
Yeah, of course they
You
did.
got to make the play. He doesn't make the play. The other team goes to the championship. Somebody else doesn't make the play. Everybody's standing around watching LeBron. The other team goes to the championship, and they're well deserved, well played game, and I just enjoyed watching the game. That's what until football season comes, this is all the excitement we get. So we have to enjoy it.
The focus too is always going to be the Lakers and LeBron. But let me tell you something: the Denver Nuggets were the number one seed, and let people not forget it. Like, it was great that the Lakers could stay healthy for once and that they played into the play-in tournament and they did a good job. But the Lakers are the real deal. And everyone's going to just talk about how LeBron and the Lakers didn't win, but the Nuggets are amazing teams.
Took it from the Los Angeles Lakers, and I think a lot of people, you can take your two-time MVP stuff and throw it out the window. People questioning whether Nikola Jokic deserved that, questioning whether he was good enough to be a two-time NBA MVP. Absolutely, he was good enough to earn that. Now he gets his NBA Finals appearance. And for a lot of people, we know how this goes. We know the narrative of this game. And just talking sports as a whole, if he doesn't have that championship, well, then it kind of doesn't back up everything that he's done to this point in time. But he was great on the road in the second half. And he was struggling at times in the series in the first half, Game 3 and Game 4. The foul trouble yesterday for Jokic, the laziness at times when he got that third foul, when he ran over LeBron James to pick up his fifth foul. Like that, those are some bad basketball plays from Jokic. But he responded. Big fourth quarter in Game 3, big second half yesterday, and that is what you want out of your star players. Folks, absolutely is the number one seed. The Denver Nuggets sweeping their way to the NBA Finals. We will talk about the Lakers. We will talk about LeBron James, because that's a guy that did he show being 38 at times? Yeah. But he still has it. He can still pull it out when it's needed. And I think that's going to be the challenge for the Lakers, for LeBron James moving forward. I think LeBron hinted at retirement. We'll get into that next. And is that truth? What is LeBron? What message is he trying to send? Because all these dudes are calculated in this game with what they are doing overall. But this was all about the Nuggets. And just the second half effort, the last two games. What's so impressive, because the Los Angeles Lakers, they were locked in. LeBron James was setting the tone. They were attacking the basket. They were taking advantage of some of the Nuggets' weaknesses. And when the Lakers were playing inside out, they looked fantastic in this series. But with Ned Rosado, Michael Porter Jr. stepping up, didn't have a great game shooting-wise. 3-10 from 3, 5-16 from the field. But he managed 15 points. He also had 10 rebounds, the second most rebounds for the Denver Nuggets. And it was the Aaron Gordon game for the Nuggets. He hit three-point shots. He was 3 of 5 from 3. In the first half, he was confident. He took those shots, because there were a few times in this series Aaron Gordon was an absolute black hole. And the Lakers could sag off him, not worry about him. AG wasn't a playmaker. 22 points, 6 rebounds, 5 assists last night from Aaron Gordon. And that is what makes the Nuggets a dangerous team. That's what makes them a championship team. Yes, you have your stars that can get you a game, go win you a game. But in a series, you got to have the role players step up. You saw that from Michael Porter Jr., you saw that from Aaron Gordon. Both teams shrunk the bench. It was a game that wasn't about who that sixth man off the bench was. It wasn't about, showing off your rotation. It was your starters going as deep as humanly possible. For the Nuggets, Bruce Brown played 20 minutes off the bench. Jeff Green played 10. For the Lakers, Tristan Thompson gave him a good 10 minutes. D'Angelo Russell 15, but it was about the starting lineup. Throw them out there, say go, and the Nuggets are going to the NBA Finals. 505-246-0610. That is 377 hotline. Sports Adam text line this morning. You can also hit us up on the social media. Find us at 610canamel.com, also at parttimebro_ JJ Buck, if you're interested in sending an email this morning. You can find us JJ at sportsanimalabq.com. So we will dissect the Western Conference Finals, start setting the table for what's ahead in the NBA Finals. And that leads to the next question. What is next for LeBron James? What did he have to say post-game, and what was the news overnight that has everyone talking about the future for the King? It is the opening drive here on 95.9 FM, AM 610, the Sports Animal.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible.
These are more than just the sounds of a safe place to go after school. These are the sounds of interest being ignited and of mentors making an impact. At Boys and Girls Clubs, we don't do just one thing. We do whatever it takes to meet the needs of every kid who comes through those doors. Because whatever it takes is what it takes to build great futures. Great futures start here.
International Protective Services is a proud supporter of ProView Sports and New Mexico Youth Athletics. IPS provides residential and commercial security services in the Albuquerque metro area. For more info, please call 505-897-2400. 2420 or visit internationalprotectiveservice.com.
Sometimes it's the small things that make life easier, like never worrying about being declined at an ATM when only cash will do. With your covered from US Eagle, we'll cover you, even if the money's not there. That's a good feeling. And we do it with no extra fees or penalties. It's called trust, and we think that's important, especially if we're asking you to trust us. At US Eagle, that's just part of what it means when we say people mean more.
Don't sacrifice quality of flavor when you're in a hurry. Golden Pride offers ribs, fried chicken, green and red chili breakfast burritos, and Frontier Cinnabons. 4 great locations, or visit us online at goldenpride@abq.com. Golden Pride Barbecue Chicken and Ribs, proud supporter of ProView Sports Network.
Check it out.
What is it?
It's a time machine, bro. I could jump into the future, get my paycheck early.
I already get my paycheck early at US Eagle.
Get your paycheck up to 2 days early with US Eagle Early Payday. Now's a great time to have your checking with US Eagle.
Time machine.
Your girlfriend breaks up with you in 22 hours, 53 minutes.
Wait, what? Seth?
We fight the battles no one hears about.
We drop into the middle of firefights to rescue others.
And act as one-man air traffic control towers. We're the ones who go before all others.
U.S. Air Force Special Warfare are proud supporters of ProView Sports.
Hi everyone, my name is Master Sergeant Jacob Groves. I am a Air Force Special Warfare pararescueman. Air Force Special Warfare are proud supporters of ProView Network and New Mexico Youth Sports. Air Force Special Warfare operators are critical thinkers. They maintain a high level of fitness, they take initiative, and they don't quit. For more information on Air Force Special Warfare, contact me at the number listed below.
U.S. Air Force Special Warfare are proud supporters of ProView Sports.
As a mom, I try to make the best choices for my family and our health. That's why I choose Western Sky Community Care. It's a Medicaid plan with quality health coverage and special benefits like Boys and Girls Club membership credit, additional dental benefits, and wellness and support programs. I decide which Medicaid plan is right for us. I choose Western Sky Community Care.
Learn more about Western Sky Community Care by visiting discoverwesternsky.com today.
International Protective Services is a proud supporter of ProView Sports and New Mexico Youth Athletics. IPS provides residential and commercial security services in the Albuquerque metro area. For more info, please call 505-897-2420 or visit internationalprotectiveservice.com. We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible.
Well, I'm going to the frontier, walking to the cashier, order up a root beer and a number one. Cover it with green stuff, one scoop is not enough. Find a booth is real tough, backed by the Duke.
The one question you do have leaving this series, Fear of the Lakers, where was that in Game 2? Where was that in Game 3? LeBron James absolutely just taking over in his first half performance, 31 points, finished with 40 points, 10 rebounds, and 9 assists. It looks like it gave them a 15-point lead at halftime. But I think the answer to that question is you can't get that night in and night out from LeBron James, and that is the difference at this point in time in his career. You're going to get a certain level of consistency. Maybe not a guy that is able to take over every single game, because the Lakers still out their best when that man was attacking, when they were playing inside out. And now what does the future hold for LeBron James and the Los Angeles Lakers? His opening drive here on 95.9 FM, AM 610, the Sports Animal, J.J. Gamering, our quarterback, Ned James. Now, LeBron James very complimentary of the Joker post game, very cerebral in the moment. Season over, just been swept, and all the questions are coming. What are you doing? What decision are you making? What's the roster going to look like? But this is the moment that got a lot of people thinking, oh, this sounds a little bit different from LeBron James. We'll get to that clip here in a few seconds. But the future of LeBron James in the air. And now, immediately am I buying into retirement talk? Well, let's hear. All right, here's LeBron James post game last night.
But we'll see. We'll see what happens going forward. I don't know. I got a lot to think about, to be honest. And just for me personally, going forward with the game of basketball, got a lot to think about. Appreciate it.
And so that was what LeBron left everyone with last night. You're like, okay, he's got a lot to think about. He's a 38-year player in the back end of his career. But a lot of the basketball guys think, that's a different LeBron James. We haven't really heard LeBron quite like that at the end of the season. Chris Haynes overnight dropped the Nuggets reporter from Bleacher Report and TNT that LeBron James is unsure if he'll be with the team in the 2023-24 season. Retirement is under consideration. That's not shocking, but it feels more like, all right, this is just LeBron taking the wait-and-see approach. What is this team going to look like next season? Is it going to be splashy? Are they going to go out and try to get another star and be a three-headed monster? Or are they going to go in with the young guys on this roster and believe in Austin Reeves and believe in Rui Hachimura? So the retirement reports can't get that. The guy, after his 20th NBA season, he's 38 years old. But I'm taking it with a grain of salt because these guys are calculated. And to me, this isn't, oh my gosh, it's the end for LeBron James. It's more of the, okay, I'm going to sit back and wait and see what happens with the Los Angeles Lakers. Ned not there?
No, he is. You need to unmute your mic, Ned.
We're having some issues with Ned this morning. But, hey, Marie, when you hear that from LeBron, does that sound different? Because a lot of people are telling me that was a different LeBron at the end than they've seen the last few years.
Different. I also was watching that and listening to that clip, and I was like, okay, he just lost. He got swept in the Western Conference Finals. Let's give the man a day to think about whether he's going to retire or not. I mean, give the man a day or two. I do agree with Ned that he might be getting old, but this is the same old LeBron to me. It's not different to me.
Well, he can't do it night in and night out.
No, you can't.
But that's
don't
something
take
you have
away
to
from him either.
Consider, and because that's my one thing in this is injury. And I think if you're a Lakers fan, that's the biggest question I'm leaving with this series: is could he have done this? Just had his push earlier, so you don't fall in that 3-0 hole. But even when he had the push, guess what? They still lost the game, and that was the difference in the series. The Nuggets in the second half, they were a different basketball team. The effort, the energy, the plays made by the guys outside of the star players pushed Denver over the top. And so it's an easy question to bring up was, oh, where was this earlier? But even when they got that game, they lost. And this is going to happen. Players late in their career after the season. And I believe this is something that has already crossed LeBron James' mind because he put it out there already the timetable. And he's talking about wanting to play with his son, Bronny. His son, Bronny, is going to be a freshman at USC next season, and he can go play his year of collegiate basketball, and then can try to get picked up by a team, and then LeBron James, or do they somehow get him on the Lakers roster? Is he really that good? And then he gets drafted, and he goes and bounces around. And these are all the things that have gone through the head of LeBron James. Can the Lakers be competitive next year? Absolutely. They were just in the Western Conference Finals. Yeah. And you saw Anthony Davis. I think for some, they're gonna have a sour taste in their mouth. But he was a consistent in this, and the reality is, you take a step back, and outside of the name recognition, they got beat by the better basketball team, the number 1 seed in the conference.
Yeah, and I mean, as a team, I don't know if the Lakers are constructed in a way right now, and they could get better in the offseason. It seems like LeBron and AD are okay, but do you want to proceed with AD? The organization may, at some point decide, hey, maybe it's time for us to maybe walk back the AD experiment. We don't know yet. I would doubt it because they're going to need stars in LA. The Nuggets are just well put together. I mean, you have to give the Nuggets a lot more credit. I don't think people are giving them enough credit with how their roster was constructed, because they had to stick with Michael Porter Jr., who's a superstar that's not quite lived up to the expectations, but he's serviceable with the other 2 stars on the team. And they've just managed to stick with their stars, stick with the coach. And a lot of times that's what people are searching for. They're searching for that great management. Are the Lakers management-wise, are they in a position where, people want to go there, they want to, be able to work with LeBron and AD? I don't know. I mean, everybody says it's LA, everybody wants to go there. Denver, boy, I just tell you, this coach, Mike Malone, has just done a tremendous job with keeping his team focused, keeping his team hungry, keeping his team playing hard, keeping them confident. And that's what it takes. It takes that right chemistry. A lot of times it's not necessarily just having great players that will determine whether you win or lose. You have to have the right chemistry. Everybody has to buy in, and everybody has to play their roles, and everybody has to play their roles at the right time. And I think that's just what the Denver Nuggets have hit on this season. They hit on it a couple seasons ago. They had some injuries, because that's going to happen. They've been able to skirt the injury bug this season, and that's why you have the success you're seeing now for them.
Well, the Nuggets also did something that a lot of teams don't do, and that they took their time, and they let Jamal Murray get healthy. And Jamal Murray has talked about, he thought there was a point where the Nuggets were going to trade him. After he hurt his knee, he felt that his time was up in Denver. The Nuggets are going to move him and then try to find someone else to play alongside Jokic and try to attack this window, and they took their time. They believed in Jamal Murray. They believed in that player, and those 2 that went on a run in 2020, that went to the Western Conference Finals in the bubble season. They let Jamal Murray get healthy, and he was unbelievable. Jamal Murray, those 4 quarters of basketball from the end of Game 2 to the start of Game 3, some of the best quarters of postseason basketball you're ever going to see outside of an NBA Finals game. And when you believe in your star players, to your point, they had consistency in a league right now that is firing good coaches left and right. They stuck with Michael Malone, and then they invested in the rotation. Like Aaron Gordon was a trade deadline acquisition last year. And the offseason, they get Kentavious Caldwell-Pope, who they know is a championship role player. They look at someone like Bruce Brown, who played in Brooklyn, and he was around Kevin Durant and James Harden in that group, and he understood what playing a role outside a star player was, and that is how that team came together and was the best team in the Western Conference.
I'm curious, do you believe that in Albuquerque, New Mexico, are there just as many Denver Nuggets fans as there are Laker fans, or you think there are more Laker fans than Denver Nugget fans?
There are more Laker fans. Car Flag Nation not flying those flags this morning. And this time period for the Lakers is also fascinating because of how polarizing LeBron James is, because he was the dude you want to root against. He was the best in the game. He was winning championships. He was always going to the Eastern Conference Finals. And then he came to the Lakers. And I know that there are Laker fans that have been kind of, not as interested and not as invested.
Yeah.
And this is a time, Laker fan. What has this last 4 years been? You got a championship. You got a Western Conference Finals appearance. It's probably felt like multiple championships were the expectations when LeBron James came to town. But how do you feel about this window? And are you in on one more season of LeBron James? So the questions for the Lakers, for LBJ's future are out there, but we know for sure the Denver Nuggets are going to the NBA Finals. 505-246-0610, the 377 Brewery hotline. Also, the Sports Animal text line this morning. There is a new Lobo Hooper in town, and why is Richard Pitino going inside once again? I'll tell you everything you need to know coming up next. It is Opening Drive here on 95.9 FM, AM 610, the Sports Animal.
We're all moving a little faster now.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible. International Protective Services is a proud supporter of ProView Sports and New Mexico Youth Athletics. IPS provides residential and commercial security services in the Albuquerque metro area. For more info, please call 505-897-2420 or visit internationalprotectiveservice.com.
We fight the battles no one hears about.
We drop into the middle of firefights to rescue others.
And act as one-man air traffic control towers. We're the ones who go before all others.
U.S. Air Force Special Warfare are proud supporters of ProView Sports.
Check it out.
What is it?
It's a time machine, bro. I could jump into the future, get my paycheck early.
I already get my paycheck early at US Eagle.
Get your paycheck up to 2 days early with US Eagle Early Payday. Now's a great time to have your checking with US Eagle.
Time machine.
Your girlfriend breaks up with you in 22 hours, 53 minutes.
Wait, what? Seth?
Hi everyone, my name is Master Sergeant Jacob Groves. I am a Air Force Special Warfare Pararescueman. Air Force Special Warfare are proud supporters of ProView Network and New Mexico Youth Sports. Air Force Special Warfare operators are critical thinkers. They maintain a high level of fitness, they take initiative, and they don't quit. For more information on Air Force Special Warfare, contact me at the number listed below.
U.S. Air Force Special Warfare are proud supporters of ProView Sports.
Well, I'm going to the frontier, walking to the cashier, order up a root beer and a number one. Cover it with green stuff, one scoop is not enough. Find a booth is real tough, back by the Duke. Meet my family, meet my friends in the quirkiest restaurant I have ever been. All of Albuquerque's favorite spot, it's the Frontier Restaurant.
The Frontier Restaurant is a proud supporter of ProView Networks.
These are more than just the sounds of a safe place to go after school. These are the sounds of interest being ignited and of mentors making an impact. At Boys and Girls Clubs, we don't do just one thing. We do whatever it takes to meet the needs of every kid who comes through those doors. Because whatever it takes is what it takes to build great futures. Great futures start here.
Sometimes it's the small things that make life easier, like never worrying about being declined at an ATM when only cash will do. With You're Covered from US Eagle, we'll cover you, even if the money's not there. That's a good feeling. And we do it with no extra fees or penalties. It's called trust, and we think that's important, especially if we're asking you to trust us. At US Eagle, that's just part of what it means when we say people mean more.
We fight the battles no one hears about.
We drop into the middle of firefights to rescue others.
And act as one-man air traffic control towers. We're the ones who go before all others.
U.S. Air Force Special Warfare are proud supporters of ProView Sports.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible.
As a mom, I try to make the best choices for my family and our health. That's why I choose...
Had a 16 points and 15 rebounds against a number 1 seed in the NCAA tournament sound. That's pretty good. And that was the last game of Isaac Mushila, the 6'5" senior that's going to use his final year of eligibility at UNM, the transfer from Texas A&M Corpus Christi. So right now, the next piece to Richard Pitino's puzzle for the Lobo men's basketball team, UNM adding another inside presence. Now, he's only 6'5", but this is a guy that plays bigger than his size. And we know that's the focus for the Lobos. Get old, stay old when it comes to inside presence and fill the holes left by Morris Udeze and Josiah Alec. And so far, so good for the Lobos in the transfer portal. It's the opening drive here on 95.9 FM, AM 610, The Sports Animal. JJ Buck Amory, our quarterback, Ned James. So the new Lobos front court, you're going to look at Nelly Jr. Joseph, the transfer from Iona, and Isaac Mushila, the 6'5" transfer from Texas A&M Corpus Christi. Now, Jeff Grammer, the Albuquerque Journal, was able to get some quotes from him yesterday, and you're talking about a 6'5" player, averaged 14.5 points, 9.9 rebounds last season. He said, quote, "I traced the ball with my eyes first, then I used my strength and ability to get off the ground fast to beat the taller guys." And due to almost averaging a double-double coming in, and we know that was the big hole, and Rich Pitino has done a great job the last 2 years of filling the biggest need for Lobo basketball, and that is at the forward position. And yeah, this guy might be a little bit undersized, but that's definitely the edge that the Lobos need. They have the answers in the backcourt. They should have the answers on the wing this upcoming season. And this is how you build basketball teams in this day and age. You use the transfer portal to get old in the positions you want to be old at. And I think that's definitely in the front court for not just Lobo basketball, but any team. And then you pick and choose your spots, because you still have to be active and effective in recruiting when it comes to high school players. The Lobos are able to land a couple big-time names. Of course, you know, True Washington, the guard out of Arizona, Jaden Toppin, 6'8" forward out of Texas. But it feels like, Ned, Richard Pitino, the staff right now, with the way you construct rosters, they got a pretty good handle on the transfer portal and being able to fill holes the last couple of years.
Yeah, and it's interesting. And I know people call it the transfer portal. It's essentially free agency. You got to go find players. You got to go find guys who could play for you right now. And what they're trying to match, if we could just match Udeze and Alec from last season, I think Lobo fan will be happy, because you're going to get 24 wins out of this. And that's what they're looking for. I mean, they're looking for the wins. The backcourt is essentially the same. I mean, you got to fill some holes from a couple guys who left. But other than that, you're bringing back essentially the same team. But can you fill those holes? Can you fill that Udeze spot with a guy who can match what Udeze gave you? Do you fill it in the aggregate? Do you get more than just one guy to handle that position? But you got to get those points. You've got to get that low post scoring. In the style, we now understand the style of play that Coach Pitino wants to use. And so with that in mind, we know where the production is going to come from and how it's going to come. So now once you get the pieces, we have to see it. Like you can go to practice and you can tell in practice just where this team is going to be. Now, every team's different. Every team's constructed differently. But that backcourt is the same. It was considered the best backcourt in the Mountain West last season. We should expect that to continue with another year under the belt of the freshmen. I'm blanking on Donovan Dent, yeah. And so, I mean, this should be, if we can upgrade at the post position, we should be a much better team. We should be an NCAA team now. That's the expectation. I'm not saying just because this is what Ned thinks. No, this is what the expectation of Lobo fans are going to be with this basketball team.
This team has to be better in the second half of the season. There's no excuses for it. Even you're looking at 1 or 2 year windows when it comes to bringing in upperclassmen, and you don't get a lot of time. And that's the challenge now for teams. That's a challenge for coaches, is you still need chemistry. You still have to build something within the team. But when you look at what the Lobos did in the offseason, Nelly Jr. Joseph, who is going to make them better defensively inside. He is a better post defender than you saw out of Udeze, than you saw out of Alec. Now, just Alec, you tip your cap to what he did. He was asked to play on the perimeter at times. He was asked to guard guys away from the basket. But now it feels like the Lobos have a true post defender, someone that can be a weak side shot blocker, someone that can alter shots, and Nelly Jr. Joseph. Mustafa Amzil coming in and that stretch forward, but he's still 6'9" presence. You add in the newest addition, Isaac Mushila, 6'5", but his game is about power, inside, rebounding, attacking the basket. He was all Southland Conference first team last year at Texas A&M Corpus Christi, a team that won a First Four game, won a tournament game. He played on the biggest stage against Alabama. So you're bringing in that experience. You're bringing in someone to fill the biggest holes, and it was in the front court for this Lobo basketball team. And the one question is kind of who plays the three. I think you're going to see a lot of Jamal Baker probably playing a three, the 6'5", and transfer from Fresno State. But these are all experienced players that you're not waiting on. You're expecting immediate impact, and that's the balance. And I think Richard Pitino and company has done a really good job of managing that right now. It's like you got your excitement, you were able to land Donovan Dent, keep him around, continue to develop him behind Jalen House, Jamal Mashburn. I'm intrigued, Quentin Webb, because he's a dude you look at, and he's built.
And he looked good He looked good in practice. I mean, I know people don't see practice like a lot of us do, but I liked Webb in practice. I liked what he looked like in practice. The thing I always harp on, JJ, you hear me say this with football, it's baseball, it's basketball, it's women's soccer, it's whatever. Chemistry. You have to have – can these guys get along? Basketball is unique that way. You got to find guys that get along. You got to have guys who can adjust and adapt to this environment. And I know that's what coaches are there for. I know everybody's, that's what they paid the big bucks for, these coaches, to make sure they understand the personalities of all these guys and to be able to mesh these personalities. But chemistry will be key. Udezi's personality was one that was infectious with the rest of the team that really helped this team garner those kind of wins. I'm looking to see where that leadership's going to come from this new group. That's going to be something to watch. I know coaches don't like to talk about that, but I'm a stupid coach. That's why I make these comments. And stupid coaches like myself shouldn't be making these comments because coaches hate to answer those kind of questions. I'm sure these coaches don't want to hear that. But that's going to be important to see how these personalities all mesh, because it's going to be important that they all mesh, because you got the talent there. And the expectations of Lobo fan is like, hey, this backcourt, we've got with Donovan Dent and Mashburn and House, hey, we're tops of the conference now. We're paying you the big bucks to go get us some post help and guys down low. So we're going to make sure this train keeps running. We're expecting that to all work together, and it's not always the case a lot of times, because you get guys and there's these little quirks, and that's why I was surprised that Josiah Alec left, but it just seemed he was a little bit out of rhythm. I mean, I look at it differently than most basketball guys watching practice with him. I didn't really care for his style of play as much as most people, and what he did was great. But we'll see if this team can garner something extra special, a little bit different than Josiah.
Yeah, you're on to about the chemistry, because it has to be something that has to come faster than ever before. This because of the transfer portal, because of the expectations that you can build just in 1 year. Guys have to be able to come together. Guys can't sit there and spend an entire year learning how to handle something. And this is why summer becomes that much more important, if you're able to get these guys get in summer workouts.
Yeah.
Because there's a lot of things that usually, you might have some time, you might have some growth. You got to get these things figured out quickly, especially when you're talking about guys transferring in for just one season.
Yeah.
And
one of the
filling holes with quote-unquote veteran players.
Yeah. One of the things that's unique and different than when I went to school here 100 years ago, we didn't have these practice facilities that they have now in the pit. And so the guys would come over, the Charlie Thomases, the Johnny Browns, the Hunter Greens, Rob Robbins, all those guys, they'd be in Johnson Gym. They'd be playing with guys in open gym. They would play a lot of basketball with football players, guys who were here on track scholarships or whatever that were hoopers. And you don't see a lot of that now because the guys, they kind of work on their own game, their own individual games, and it's more structured, it appears. And it's just, for Lobo fan, I know one of the things God rest his soul, Kelvin Scarborough would talk about was just, like you said, the guys being here in the community, like you said, in the summer. Are they going to the Pueblos and the reservations to play with the kids out there? Scar was really big on that and just really, enjoyed the fact that he was able to be and fit into this community. It's tough with these portal guys that are coming in and leaving after a year. The community is trying to wrap their arms around them, and yet we don't get to see them as much. A lot of guys go play with NBA guys in these different major cities. I know Mashburn does a lot of that down in Miami. But I'm just curious to see how much and how connected these guys become with the community. That's important, especially on campus. We do a lot with the black athletes in the community.
It's a challenge because things are changing with responsibilities and expectations.
Yeah.
And what these guys are doing in the off season, and they'll love you if you win. That's the thing. They'll love you if you win. Do you want more? Do you want to see these guys out? Absolutely. But with what's going on, fans are going to care more about.
I think they're already winning. I think they're winning. They're representing the University of New Mexico Lobo. I know it doesn't seem like a lot, but I think people here. Hey, you play for the Lobos. You play in the pit, world famous pit. You're already there, and we just want to embrace you. And I just see it, because Udeze just seemed like, even though he was only here 1 year, that he kind of was a part of the community. Felt like, even when I talked to the kids on campus, Udeze felt like one of them. And these are kids that have been here 2-3 years. That's the kind of chemistry you have to bring when you come in as a portal guy. And I don't, we'll see what happens. That's where the chemistry comes in.
505-246-0610, 377 Peruria hotline, and Sports Animal text line. So, Lobo fan, what do you think about the roster construction so far? You saw the need, the holes the last 2 years that the Lobos needed to fill, and they got an impact last year. Did they do an even better job this year of attacking the front court needs? Deion Sanders said no, and Danny Gonzalez said yes. And they're talking about the same player. I'll tell you who that is next. It's the opening drive here on 95.9 FM, AM 610, the Sports Animal.
This report is sponsored by Blindster.com.
Shopping for new...
There's a line drive right at the shortstop for out number 3.
Apodaca ripped to left field. That will bounce in, so it's going to be extra bases as they'll have to chase that one at the wall in the warning track. Flipped up, there's no play at home. So it's an RBI double for Andrew Apodaca. Runner at third. High leverage spot. Can Chavez keep the tie? No, that's going to be cracked into left field. It's a base hit as Love puts the Sandia Matadors ahead for the first time today.
The 0-2. Upstairs goes the backstop, and the run will not score. Gun down at home.
Chavez rocks and fires. Ahmed, that's going to be an RBI for Ahmed as that one right through the gap in right center. Petrie will scoop that one, and it's looking like a triple as Ahmed plugs into third base, and what a way to score that run for the Matadors.
Coach Romero barking out his orders there to his
his players. He's been around the game for a long time. Nice shot to center field. That'll bring runners in. Just like that, LaCueva will bring 3 runners in to go up 3-0. Runner advances to third. Shot to center. That looks good. That's gone. Man, outstanding center shot there. As LaCueva will score. Antonio Lucero, second baseman, quite the hitter. Shot to third, and good catch, and she gets the out. Outstanding play by Trinity Bazan. Nice bright spot.
Costly errors allowed Cleveland to get 1 run back. That one sent the ground to the left side. Throw to first in time. Throw home. Got her. Whoa, what a play.
Next door or something. Not sure, but they came out here, and Ellison cracks an RBI out to left field. That's where you got to do it. 1 run, 2 run, and this game could very well be over. It's a play at the plate. It's sliding, and that will do it. The Rams walk off the LaCueva Bears. It's a 3-run batted in shot by Dean Ellison.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible.
These are more than just the sounds of a safe place to go after school. These are the sounds of interest being ignited and of mentors making an impact. At Boys and Girls Clubs, we don't do just one thing. We do whatever it takes to meet the needs of every kid who comes through those doors. Because whatever it takes is what it takes to build great futures. Great futures start here.
International Protective Services is a proud supporter of ProView Sports and New Mexico Youth Athletics. IPS provides residential and commercial security services in the Albuquerque metro area. For more info, please call 505-897-2420 or visit internationalprotectiveservice.com.
Sometimes it's the small things that make life easier, like never worrying about being declined at an ATM when only cash will do. With your covered from US Eagle, we'll cover you, even if the money's not there. That's a good feeling. And we do it with no extra fees or penalties. It's called trust, and we think that's important, especially if we're asking you to trust us. At US Eagle, that's just part of what it means when we say people mean more.
Don't sacrifice quality of flavor when you're in a hurry. Golden Pride offers ribs, fried chicken, green and red chili breakfast burritos, and Frontier Cinnabons. 4 great locations, or visit us online at goldenpride@abq.com. Golden Pride Barbecue Chicken and Ribs, proud supporter of ProView Sports Network.
Check it out.
What is it?
It's a time machine, bro. I could jump into the future, get my paycheck early.
I already get my paycheck early at US Eagle.
Get your paycheck up to 2 days early with US Eagle Early.
One man is a yes for another. Deion Sanders sending shockwaves across college athletics, but he's just telling it like it is. And he is not sugarcoating things, the transfer portal, this or that. It's free agency. And he's building teams, and he's saying yes or no. And he's effectively cutting players at the university up there in Boulder. So you Buffaloes, you want to put your big boy pants on, you want to play in this NIL world, transfer portal world, well, some people ain't going to sugarcoat it. And Deion Sanders is one of those coaches. But when he says no, it's an opportunity for someone else to say yes. It's the opening drive here on 95.9 FM, AM 610, The Sports Animal. JJ Buck, A. Marie, our quarterback, Ned James with you this morning. And Lobo football making some news as well, as offensive tackle Travis Gray, a 6'7", 305-pound player who was at Colorado but was cut by Deion Sanders, announced on Monday via his social media that he's taken his talents to the University of New Mexico. Gray played 4 years at Cherokee Trail High School in Aurora, Colorado. Coming out, he was a 3-star prospect in high school, landed at CU, but then was essentially told that he was cut from the team. In a story that was published in April in The Athletic, Gray was one of the last 5 offensive linemen cut to make space for the new guys that Deion Sanders brought in to the Buffaloes. And in the story, Gray told The Athletic, quote, this is his interaction with Coach Sanders. Quote, he told me, "You're 6'8", 320 pounds. I know in my heart of hearts the school is going to pick you up in the portal when you enter. Make your weaknesses your strength and keep progressing. I hope you have a great future. It just won't be here at the University of Colorado."
And this is who we call the molder of men, Deion Sanders. Way to lift the guy's spirits up, Deion, and make him feel special. Hey, here's the thing. I mean, these are young men that are student athletes. We still have to call them student athletes until we have a salary cap, until we have disclosure on salaries. Despite what Deion portends here, that these guys are just football players, quote unquote. It'll be interesting to see, because you got to get admitted into school. You have to. These coaches have to go through compliance, and so good luck, Deion. With this thing that you have there, because you sold a lot of tickets, and I call those woof tickets. Deion's barking a lot. Those are woof tickets. They call them woof tickets in the hood. This is what people sell that are tickets to a game, and when you get to the game, ain't no players. So Deion thinks that he's going to just go roughshod through the Pac-12 and all these non-conference games with all these guys coming out of the portal, and we'll see. Are these high dollar guys? Are we talking about guys coming in for $1 million to play receiver, running back, offensive line? The offensive line is the hub of the team. Everybody else is just the spokes.
How long have we been talking about the offensive line, Ned, for the Lobos?
Since I first got here, and that's God bless him, our new offensive coordinator. That's the one position he felt that was not very good. He liked everywhere else when he came in, but he said the offensive line. I said, hey, this offensive line's a lot better than it was when we first got here, and so you're gonna have to make do, my man. And I see that they're going in the portal to try to get offensive linemen. The skill, they think they're okay. They think they're really good at receiver. They think they're good at quarterback. The running backs, I think, it'll take a step back with Nate Jones not being here, and they think Christian Washington is a little bit better than Nate. I don't see that, but we'll see.
But you know what it is, Ned? Even for a student athlete, it's availability. And Nate Jones was someone that, because of some of the choices and decisions he was making, he wasn't making himself.
And that's all. He's no longer here, so that's all well and good. I'm just saying the style of play. They're going to run the ball. They're going to be a physical run game team. I mean, I want to see these backs, put in the work as far as running the ball. Once I see that, then we can say, hey. But they're saying that the offensive line is the weakest link. Now they're bringing in a large group of offensive linemen this summer, and we're going to see. We're going to see if these guys can really put, because I don't think they're that far off at the offensive line. I think the center, CJ, was good. DJ was
maybe get
good.
DJ back.
Tackle. Yeah, get DJ back.
Because he hurt his knee before the season started, so we never really got to see DJ Wingfield. And I know that's someone that Coach Gonzalez was high on all offseason last year heading into the year. And so you got this young guy coming in, Travis Gray, 6'7", 305. Offensive lineman. Lobos also added Sam Talesa, Georgetown transfer, Reese Steele from Iowa Central Community College via the transfer portal, and they're trying to build that depth on that offensive line, and it's important because, if Lobos want to play power football, they want to get that run game going, try to play off the play action game, you got to have the dudes up front to block and give your quarterback some time to make some plays.
You can only play 5 guys at one time, though. So depth, what is that?
We only play 5 guys, but we've seen a lot of guys go down via injury too for the Lobos. 505-246-0610, the 377 Brewery hotline, the Sports Animal text line. If you build it, they will win. How the Nuggets did something and the rest of the NBA is struggling to do. It is the opening drive here on 95.9 FM, AM 610, the Sports Animal.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible.
These are more than just the sounds of a safe place to go after school. These are the sounds of interest being ignited and of mentors making an impact. At Boys and Girls Clubs, we don't do just one thing. We do whatever it takes to meet the needs of every kid who comes through those doors. Because whatever it takes is what it takes to build great futures. Great futures start here.
International Protective Services is a proud supporter of ProView Sports and New Mexico Youth Athletics. IPS provides residential and commercial security services in the Albuquerque metro area. For more info, please call 505-897-2420 or visit internationalprotectiveservice.com.
Sometimes it's the small things that make life easier, like never worrying about being declined at an ATM when only cash will do. With your covered from US Eagle, we'll cover you, even if the money's not there. That's a good feeling. And we do it with no extra fees or penalties. It's called trust, and we think that's important, especially if we're asking you to trust us. At US Eagle, that's just part of what it means when we say people mean more.
Don't sacrifice quality of flavor when you're in a hurry. Golden Pride offers ribs, fried chicken, green and red chili breakfast burritos, and Frontier Cinnabons. 4 great locations, or visit us online at goldenpride@abq.com. Golden Pride Barbecue Chicken and Ribs, proud supporter of ProView Sports Network.
Check it out.
What is it?
It's a time machine, bro. I could jump into the future, get my paycheck early.
I already get my paycheck early at US Eagle.
Get your paycheck up to 2 days early with US Eagle Early Payday. Now's a great time to have your checking with US Eagle.
Time machine.
Your girlfriend breaks up with you in 22 hours, 53 minutes.
Wait, what? Seth?
We fight the battles no one hears about.
We drop into the middle of firefights to rescue others.
And act as one-man air traffic control towers. We're the ones who go before all others.
U.S. Air Force Special Warfare are proud supporters of ProView Sports.
Hi everyone, my name is Master Sergeant Jacob Groves. I am a Air Force Special Warfare pararescueman. Air Force Special Warfare are proud supporters of ProView Network and New Mexico Youth Sports. Air Force Special Warfare operators are critical thinkers. They maintain a high level of fitness, they take initiative, and they don't quit. For more information on Air Force Special Warfare, contact me at the number listed below.
U.S. Air Force Special Warfare are proud supporters of ProView Sports.
As a mom, I try to make the best choices for my family and our health. That's why I choose Western Sky Community Care. It's a Medicaid plan with quality health coverage and special benefits like Boys and Girls Club membership credit, additional dental benefits, and wellness and support programs. I decide which Medicaid plan is right for us. I choose Western Sky Community Care.
5 years running. It's the OD in the AM. With 3-time New Mexico Sportscaster of the Year, Jeff Symbieta, A. Marie Castillo, and JJ Bond.
No sound.
Bang indeed. That Nikola Jokic behind the head 3-point shot as the shot clock expired to give the Nuggets a 110-104 lead with just another dagger along the way as the Nuggets sweep the Lakers 113-111, the final score last night. You got the game from LeBron James. The King did not want to go out, but he was dethroned by the Joker. LeBron set the tone. The Lakers had a 15-point halftime lead, and it's just effort, man. Effort and playmakers. The Nuggets had more of it in the second half for 3 straight games over the Los Angeles Lakers. We're talking Aaron Gordon, 22 points, hitting 3-point shots, a guy that was scared to shoot the basketball, a guy that was a black hole for the Nuggets at times this series, had a huge impact in this contest. Michael Porter Jr. struggling to shoot, but he goes out there, grabs 10 rebounds, 15 points, 10 rebounds, second most rebounds for the Nuggets last night. The Joker, a big second half performance, and it was a tough one at times, especially getting in foul trouble early, falling behind in the first half. He averaged a triple-double in the Western Conference Finals. Jamal Murray just 25 points, and we saw what he did throughout that series. And the Lakers, not enough to even salvage one game against the Denver Nuggets. I'm still in awe that Denver was able to sweep this series, that the Lakers were not able to win one of these games, not able to close out one of these games. But that's a credit to the Denver Nuggets. If you build it, you will win. And Denver has done something that a lot of teams in the league, they don't take the time to do because everyone is impatient. It's what have you done for me lately? And it's paying off with the first ever NBA Finals appearance for the Denver Nuggets. JJ Buck Amory, our quarterback, Ned James, with you this morning. Cynthia is still off getting that inside information in college athletics. He's back with us on Thursday. And Ned, I was in awe that the Nuggets swept this series because watching what the Lakers were doing, I don't think this is a series, too, where Darvin Ham was necessarily out-coached. I think he made the right moves. He made the changes. He put Rory Hachimura in the starting lineup. He went to Dennis Schroeder a lot more, but it's that second half, and that's 3 straight games in the second half in the fourth quarter. The Lakers they were outplayed.
Yeah, it's amazing in professional sports. It's hard to win a game. It's hard to win an NBA game. It's even harder to win a playoff game. Much harder to win a playoff game. And then to win 4 in a row against a playoff team, that's saying a lot. You really have to tip your hat to the Denver Nuggets because in order to win in a place like Los Angeles with the world watching you essentially because the Lakers are a worldwide brand, and to be able to just sweep them and play the way they played as a team, the chemistry, the cohesiveness of this Denver Nuggets team. You can go and pick apart, little pieces, the Jokic's, the 3-point shooting, the Murrays, the Browns. You can go and pick apart little things within the game, but at the end of the day, it comes down to the chemistry, the belief, the family, unity of this team and organization with its coach, and having all those things come together to win. And that's what happened. That's what happened with Denver. You can have all these great superstars. You can bring in, the Rui Hachimuras, the D'Angelo Russells, whoever they have on the bench coming off, Tristan Thompson. But at the end of the day, those are just names. There's a reason why those guys were available. The Lakers were able to pick them up that late in the year, and it's because they're not quite good fits where they were before. And so just because they come and they have these names and they come and they play against a team like the Denver Nuggets with its past history, it doesn't necessarily mean you're just going to automatically be able to chump them. And so here in the playoffs, every win is really, really hard, and that's why we watch it. It's exciting, and the Denver Nuggets gave us a great show last night.
You look at this run for Denver, and you go to the last year that George Karl was their coach, 2012, 2013. They lost in the Western Conference first round, and that was the couple years after they moved on from Carmelo Anthony. They're trying to figure out what the kind of the new identity of the team was going to be after the Melo era in Denver. They had 2 down years with Brian Shaw as their coach. They won 36 games, 30 games. Then Michael Malone took over. His first year, they were 33-49. That was 2015, 2016. And when you look at Michael Malone, that was 3 straight seasons that the Nuggets, they did not make the playoffs. You know how many franchises pull the plug right there and they move on and say, we're not going anywhere. We don't have the players. We don't have the talent. And they move on. And this was also a team that had Jusuf Nurkic and Nikola Jokic. And in an era where the league was spreading to the perimeter, where the league was about wings and guard play, because what were we seeing happen? We were seeing the Splash Brothers dominate the game. We were seeing LeBron James, Dwayne Wade do their thing with Miami Heat. The Nuggets were sitting there stuck with 2 centers that they really liked. And they had to choose which center they were going to build their team around. And you know who they picked? They stuck with the dude that they picked in the second round, Nikola Jokic. And they moved Jusuf Nurkic off. He goes to Portland. And then all of a sudden that team starts to blossom. They go to the playoffs. You get a Jamal Murray in. You see that run they had in 2020 with Jokic and Murray. He gets hurt, but they stay patient. They allow Jamal Murray to come back. This is a team that also takes a chance on Michael Porter Jr. Comes out of Missouri with a bad back. And that's why he dropped in the lottery. They give him a chance to get healthy. And then they see, hey, we got something here with these 2 guys. Jokic out there winning his MVPs, and then they build the pieces around Bruce Brown, Kentavious Caldwell-Pope on the perimeter, Aaron Gordon at the trade deadline a year and a half ago, and here they are in the NBA Finals. 505-246-0610, 377 Brewery Hotline. Mike, I want to talk about the Nuggets. What's going on, Mike? You're on the Sports Animal.
I'm just wondering if I'm still your guys' favorite caller. I was the one that called last week and said the Lakers might win 1 or 2 games.
Yes, you are my favorite caller. Absolutely. Pull my hair out watching this series.
You summed it up perfectly, though, because this has been a process. This is a trust-the-process team. They were doing things over the last 2 years, like you said, that they didn't always look right. You know, the Porter Jr. thing, and then you'd go to the games and you'd see, they weren't playing him that much, or they had a weird rotation. But Coach Malone was kind of the mastermind behind it all. The organization trusted that. And then, they really do have a big 3 that no one's talking about. Porter Jr. is probably, one of the top 3 players at his position in the league. Jokic, obviously, 2-time MVP. And then Jamal Murray coming out of Kentucky is always a number 1 level player, and they're just talented. They're grizzled. They've been here before. They've been playing these high-level games for a while. And, I don't know that the Miami Heat are going to have any game over 100 the Nuggets are going to win. You want to beat that team, you got to keep them under 100. So exciting to see something new in the NBA, not only because I'm a Nuggets fan, but just because of the style of play. If you've ever seen them, and I think people will get to see it this year in the finals, is the way they bring up the ball with Jokic, the center, and then they just kind of stands there like a tether ball, just kind of swinging that ball around to whoever's open. It's kind of fun to watch. But, yeah, guys, that's my take. Thanks.
Mike, appreciate the phone call. Continue to get in. The Nuggets are in the NBA Finals, and this is going to be a fascinating matchup because I don't see the Celtics making history either and coming back on the Miami Heat. And you really have the 2 best teams in the postseason. The Nuggets definitely have the star power. Jamal Murray, Nikola Jokic, Jimmy Buckets, unbelievable in the postseason. But it's also team basketball, and that's why they're here. Are you going to bet on talent? Absolutely. And talent is still going to take you really far. But this postseason, in an NBA that was open, man, the depth in the league is real. And there's a lot of good basketball teams right now. Do you realize Miami Heat lost their first playing game? They lost that game.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's where their journey started. They lost
pro football.
That
pro basketball,
game.
I should say, yeah.
And
yeah, pro basketball.
A win away from the NBA Finals. Yeah,
pro basketball, that's what it's about. You've got guys who are making hundreds of millions of dollars. They're not giving that money away for free. You're going to have to bring something to the table, and all these teams have the potential to beat you. And so it doesn't surprise me that the Miami Heat lost one of their playing games, but it does surprise me that they've been able to have this level of consistency throughout the playoffs to push them to this position where they're on the brink of getting into an NBA Finals this season. Along with Jokic and Murray and Michael Porter Jr., you know, it's always been there. It's been there from the first day that Michael Porter Jr. was drafted. Everyone knew that this guy had the potential to be a star, and Murray was a star at Kentucky, and then, you know, Jokic, no one saw that coming, but his style of play, Jokic's style of play, and what Malone has done with him and what that organization has done as far as letting a guy like Mike Malone get a guy like Jokic in a position to be the player he is today. You know, you have to look back in history and see what other organization used that kind of a model to let a guy stay in that long to get the players he wanted and in the position to be in the position to win a championship like Mike Malone is in now.
Now the question, all that's left, Game 4 tonight, Miami, Boston in South Beach. The Heat leading 3-0. Did the Celtics have any heart left? Any heart left? It is the opening drive here on 95.9 FM, AM 610, the Sports Animal.
This report is sponsored by Indeed.com.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible. International Protective Services is a proud supporter of ProView Sports and New Mexico Youth Athletics. IPS provides residential and commercial security services in the Albuquerque metro area. For more info, please call 505-897-2420 or visit internationalprotectiveservice.com.
We fight the battles no one hears about.
We drop into the middle of firefights to rescue others.
And act as one-man air traffic control towers. We're the ones who go before all others.
U.S. Air Force Special Warfare are proud supporters of ProView Sports.
Check it out.
What is it?
It's a time machine, bro. I could jump into the future, get my paycheck early.
I already get my paycheck early at U.S. Eagle.
Get your paycheck up to 2 days early with U.S. Eagle Early Payday. Now's a great time to have your checking with U.S. Eagle.
Time machine.
Your girlfriend breaks up with you in 22 hours, 53 minutes.
Wait, what? Seth?
Hi everyone, my name is Master Sergeant Jacob Groves. I am a Air Force Special Warfare Pararescueman. Air Force Special Warfare are proud supporters of ProView Network and New Mexico Youth Sports. Air Force Special Warfare operators are critical thinkers. They maintain a high level of fitness, they take initiative, and they don't quit. For more information on Air Force Special Warfare, contact me at the number listed below.
U.S. Air Force Special Warfare are proud supporters of ProView Sports.
Well, I'm going to the frontier, walking to the cashier, order up a root beer and a number one. Cover it with green stuff, one scoop is not enough. Find a booth is real tough, back by the Duke. Meet my family, meet my friends in the quirkiest restaurant I have ever been. All of Albuquerque's favorite spot, it's the Frontier Restaurant.
The Frontier Restaurant is a proud supporter of ProView Networks.
These are more than just the sounds of a safe place to go after school. These are the sounds of interest being ignited and of mentors making an impact. At Boys and Girls Clubs, we don't do just one thing. We do whatever it takes to meet the needs of every kid who comes through those doors. Because whatever it takes is what it takes to build great futures. Great futures start here.
Small things that make life easier, like never worrying about being declined at an ATM when only cash will do. With your covered from U.S. Eagle, we'll cover you, even if the money's not there. That's a good feeling. And we do it with no trust. And we think that's important, especially if we're asking you to trust us. At U.S. Eagle, that's just part of what it means when we say people mean more.
We fight the battles no one hears about.
We drop into the
and act as one-man air traffic control towers. We're the ones who go before all others.
U.S. Air Force Special Warfare are proud supporters of ProView Sports.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible.
As a mom, I try to make the best choices for my family and our health. That's why I choose Western Sky Community Care. It's a Medicaid plan with quality health coverage and special benefits like Boys and Girls Club membership credit, additional dental benefits, and wellness and support programs. I decide which Medicaid plan is right for us. I choose Western Sky Community Care.
Learn more about Western Sky Community Care by visiting discoverwesternsky.com today.
Don't sacrifice quality of flavor when you're in a hurry. Golden Pride offers ribs, fried chicken, green and red chili breakfast burritos, and Frontier Cinnabons. 4 great locations, or visit us online at goldenpride@abq.com. Golden Pride Barbecue Chicken and Ribs, proud supporter of ProView Sports Network.
These are more than just the sounds of a safe place to go after school. These are the sounds of interest being ignited and of mentors making an impact.
As we sit here and talk about team basketball, talent usually does win. Talent matters. But we're seeing the Boston Celtics, without that word that Ned James used, chemistry, you can get beat. And by the way, the Heat, they ain't no scrubs. Scrubs ain't going to get no love from me. But the Miami Heat, Jimmy Buckets, on the list of all-time playoff
Let's
performers.
go.
Bam Adebayo is a lottery pick. But outside of that, I get it. The undrafted narrative, I'm not Eric Spoelstra. I'm like, shut the bleep up about that. No, that's a big factor. I think that plays into the edge that team has, that those guys ride with Jimmy Butler the way they do. Because Jimmy Butler is one of those guys that he can grind on you. He's one of those stars just with his personality, his work ethic. Like, if you're not bought in, you can be on the outside looking in very easily in a team like this. The Heat are a fantastic story. We're sitting here talking about how the Nuggets built something. The Nuggets gave Michael Malone time. Where Eric Spoelstra has been through a heck of a ride since 2008. The Heatles managing LeBron James, Dwayne Wade, Chris Bosh, the finals appearances, the finals wins, to now he was given a chance kind of rebuild along with this Miami Heat team. And here they are, one away from the conference finals. And for the Boston Celtics, what's next? Because that's the question you're asking yourself. Is we just went to the NBA Finals with Jason Tatum and Jaylen Brown. I'm not on the train as much as other people that those guys can't play together. Like, somehow you have 2 wing players, and oh my gosh, that can't work in the game of basketball. But the question is, they're both up for supermax contracts, and can you survive essentially having those dudes making like $600 million over the next 5 years and put a team together around them? Joe Mazzulla, is Brad Stevens strong enough to back him through this? Because he was the unexpected head coach for the Celtics. Ime Udoka was the guy who took them to the NBA Finals. And he had stuff going on off the court that the Celtics were like, hey, we don't want that going on. That can't happen here. He's out. Joe Mazzulla gets the job. They re-up him in February and say he's the guy. And people are saying, he's kind of been out-coached in this series. If a team is soft late in the game, who does that fall on? Does it fall on the players? Does it fall on the head coach? Well, the answer is yes. And if you're the Boston Celtics tonight, can you just show some heart? I think right now people just want to see, is this team going to play hard for 4 quarters? With your season on the line, you've been kicked, you just got blued out the belt in Game 3. Can you give us 4 quarters of playing hard at the very end?
Yeah, can you be a professional? That's what you're paid to do, is to play and play well and play hard. All those things. Tough to win games. It's just hard to win a game. What Boston Celtics team shows up tonight? Who knows? We don't know. We'll have to wait and see. But I think Miami Heat, they have these shirts that they're wearing called White Hot, meaning, it's so hot, like when you see when you're burning charcoals, the charcoals turn white when they're really, really hot. And that's their theme. And they really, really got hot as the season wore on, as the playoffs wore on. White hot, red hot, whatever kind of hot you want to call it, they're it right now. And so they're going to be a tough out for anyone. We'll see what happens tonight. Boston, like you said, these contracts are coming up. They're going to have to spend a lot of money if they want to keep certain guys. And that's for the future. But for right now, they have to figure out what their plan is. Do they stick to their plan? Do they stick to the plan that they had coming into this game? Or do they, make a turn after this season? But we'll see. We'll know more in the off season. But as far as this game goes, they're professionals. They have to show up and play, and professionals do show up to play. And we'll see.
It's just the worst case scenario. We're sitting here talking about the Boston Celtics. You're trying to play hard, like give effort. Good job, good effort. Like, you are the most talented team. They are. They're the most talented team left in the NBA playoffs, and yet they're down 3-0. And that just goes to show you that the stuff, the cliche stuff that we talk about, chemistry, how much work you're putting in, this or that, like, that stuff matters. Like, people talk about that for a reason. And there's no, like, in both these series, like, I'm still in awe that the Lakers didn't win a game, at least win one game against the Denver Nuggets with the moments that they had. The Boston Celtics sitting here down 3-0, being blued out the built in Game 3. But it's the little things that absolutely do matter in sports, that they come through at the very end. And those little things, well, all the Nuggets, the Heat, they're checking all those boxes. Whereas the Celtics and Lakers, they're not when it matters. And here's another just twist, Ned. When you look at, things like yesterday, we were talking about Carmelo Anthony retiring from basketball. And Carmelo Anthony, Denver Nugget, when he was traded to the New York Knicks, well, one of those picks that they got back from the Knicks ended up being Jamal Murray, number 7 overall pick. Well, here's a little nugget. Celtics coach Joe Mazzulla played at West Virginia. His team, while he was at West Virginia, was eliminated in the Big East tournament by Jimmy Butler and Marquette. So Jimmy Butler out there in the playoffs, one of the best players we've seen in postseason basketball in recent memory, out there balling, and the head coach on the other side got beat by him as players on the court. So that's just kind of a reminder of, the Celtics, they're a young guy. He's a young guy.
Yeah. One of the things that has always been interesting to me, because when I've coached on all 3 levels, high school, college, and pro. The one thing that separates the pros from the other levels of football, other levels, I always talk football, I'm always thinking football. The other levels of sport, I should say, whether it's baseball, basketball, or football, is in the pros, when there's blood in the water, it just seems like the pro guys really feast. They really know how to end you. They know how to put their foot on your proverbial neck, as they say, when they have you where they want you. And this is what I'm seeing. Like, it really stands out. And that's why it didn't really surprise me when Denver swept the Lakers, because, the pro guys know when they have you down. They know when they've got you. Even though LeBron put on this, Machiavellian effort to try to, salvage at least one win, pro guys, it just amazed me when I was coaching in the pros, when we knew we could beat a team. In football, it was just uncanny. Maybe it's different in other sports, but I just saw when we were good. When we weren't good, you can tell the other team knew they could beat us, and they would beat us in most games. And so I just see that with Denver. I just see that they really believe and feel like, hey, there's blood in the water and we're sharks, and now we're getting ready to eat. And so this is exactly what pro guys, I think, do better than most other levels of sport. They're able to understand and know what their advantages are, and when they have the advantage, how to finish people off. And I think, it looks like Boston has that. It looks like Denver has it. We're going to see once the competition gets ratcheted up this next round, whether it's Miami or Boston. Boston's got Boston needs a miracle.
Miami's got that. Miami has that opportunity tonight to shut the door. You mentioned blood in the water. Well, it's bloody right now for the Boston Celtics in the Eastern Conference Finals. 505-246-0610, the 377 Perugia hotline, the Sports Animal text line. This morning, changes in the NFL. Did 31 other owners really feel sorry for the San Francisco 49ers, or were they just scared, and so they made a change? It's coming up next. It's the opening drive here on 95.9 FM, AM 610, the Sports Animal.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible.
These are more than just the sounds of a safe place to go after school. These are the sounds of interest being ignited and of mentors making an impact. At Boys and Girls Clubs, we don't do just one thing. We do whatever it takes to meet the needs of every kid who comes through those doors. Because whatever it takes is what it takes to build great futures. Great futures start here.
Don't sacrifice quality of flavor when you're in a hurry. Golden Pride offers ribs, fried chicken, green and red chili breakfast burritos, and Frontier Cinnabons. 4 great locations, or visit us online at goldenpride@abq.com. Golden Pride Barbecue Chicken and Ribs, proud supporter of ProView Sports Network.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible.
For your business or your home, Valley Fence stands alone. We're number 1 in New Mexico for a reason. It's the best fence you can own. Proudly serving New Mexico for over 50 years. At Valley Fence, the difference is clear. No fence too big, too small, or difficult. We handle them all.
Check it out.
What is it?
It's a time machine, bro. I could jump into the future, get my paycheck early.
I already get my paycheck early at US Eagle.
Get your paycheck up to 2 days early with US Eagle Early Payday. Now's a great time to have your checking with US Eagle.
Time machine.
Your girlfriend breaks up with you in 22 hours, 53 minutes.
Wait, what? Seth?
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible.
We fight the battles no one hears about.
We drop into the middle of firefights to rescue others.
And act as one-man air traffic control towers. We're the ones who go before all others.
U.S. Air Force Special Warfare are proud supporters of ProView Sports.
Next in
Industries is a proud supporter of ProView Networks. International Protective Services is a proud supporter of ProView Sports and New Mexico Youth Athletics. IPS provides residential and commercial security services in the Albuquerque metro area. For more info, please call 505-897-2420 or visit internationalprotectiveservice.com.
As a mom, I try to make the best choices for my family and our health. That's why I choose Western Sky Community Care. It's a Medicaid plan with quality health coverage and special benefits like Boys and Girls Club membership credit, additional dental benefits, and wellness and support programs. I decide which Medicaid plan is right for us. I choose Western Sky Community Care.
Learn more about Western Sky Community Care by visiting discoverwesternsky.com today.
Sometimes it's the small things that make life easier, like never worrying about being declined at an ATM when only cash will do. With your coverage from US Eagle, we'll cover you, even if the money's not there. That's a good feeling. And we do it with no extra fees or penalties. It's called trust, and we think that's important, especially if we're asking you to trust us. At US Eagle, that's just part of what it means when we say people mean more.
Hi everyone, my name is Master Sergeant Jacob Groves. I am a Air Force Special Warfare Pararescueman. Air Force Special Warfare are proud supporters of ProView Network and New Mexico Youth Sports. Air Force Special Warfare operators are critical thinkers. They maintain a high level of fitness. For more information on Air Force Special Warfare, contact me at the number listed below.
U.S. Air Force Special Warfare are proud supporters of ProView Sports.
These are more than just the sounds of a safe place to go after school. We do whatever it takes to meet the needs of every kid who comes through those doors. Because whatever it takes is what it takes to build great futures. Great futures start here.
Dream style stucco. Stucco is the way to go. A Southwest tradition, beautiful and durable. The perfect combination. Your favorite color, your favorite texture. You're gonna love it when they put it all together. Through any weather, nothing looks better. From the smooth to the rough, they really know their stuff. Nobody does stucco like Dream style stucco.
5.9 FM and AM 610, the sports animal.
And Ned starts stretching. Start warming up that arm.
Uh-oh.
Get that shoulder strength back. There's an opportunity. There's a chance for you to get back in the game.
You're saying there's a chance.
I am saying there is a chance because the NFL, they watched that NFC Championship game. They watched the San Francisco 49ers run out of quarterbacks. Now, that was worst case scenario. But they have made a change. Emergency quarterback back in the NFL. It's opening drive here on 95.9 FM, AM 610, the sports animal. JJ Buck, Amory, our quarterback, Ned James with you this morning. Thank you for hanging out with us on a Tuesday. The NFL owners approved a proposal allowing teams to dress a third quarterback without using an active roster spot. So either 31 other owners felt bad for the 49ers or they just got scared thinking, what if? What if this happened to us? And we know most teams carry two quarterbacks. Very few teams in the NFL were carrying three quarterbacks on their active roster. So essentially this would be the 47th player. So if your two quarterbacks go down and cannot return into the game, you can activate your emergency third quarterback. Only play quarterback, can't be someone out there playing any other position. And this is one of the things that just makes sense. Is it going to happen like we saw in the NFC Championship game? No. That will be few and far between. But it's something that's not foreign. We've seen it before, the emergency quarterback in the NFL. But are you ready, Ned? You got a couple emergency throws left?
Yeah, because the position is only put in place to give another unathletic guy a paycheck. And so there's going to be some great crossword puzzle guys. I know these quarterback coaches like to do crossword puzzles, and there's going to be an extra guy who can bring donuts in, guy who can get 10 years in the National Football League, a la Elvis Grbac, former Michigan player, played with the San Francisco 49ers for 10 years as the third emergency quarterback before they got rid of that rule. And they're just bringing back that same rule they had before with the emergency quarterback to keep these unathletic guys like Grbac, who finally, when he got a chance to play, lasted one season in the NFL. But he was in the NFL 11 total seasons as the third-string guy in San Francisco. So what it does is just so the quarterback position, because it requires a special skill set. Not athleticism being one of those skill sets, just someone who can throw a football. You're going to get these guys that are going to be great crossword puzzle guys that are going to be in the locker room now and be on the team.
Was this
not
just
really have to do
years
much.
of abuse in the locker room? For being a quarterback, you sure like to throw quarterbacks under the bus. Or is
I'm
it
not
just
throwing
you-
quarterbacks. I'm a realist. I was a quarterback. I was around tremendous athlete. I was an athlete myself. Even though I played wide receiver a little bit, I was never as athletic as great wide receivers. I could play it because I had some athletic skill. But I do know that there are guys who play quarterback who can barely walk and chew gum at the same time. And I'm not beating up on quarterbacks. I just realize how tough it is to play football and play at the other positions, running back, linebacker, defensive line, offensive line, etc. And still we keep promoting quarterbacks and giving them more money, and they don't do as much
Gotta
as the other
have
football
an
positions.
above-average quarterback to be successful. Because I know Jeff's favorite backup quarterback, he's finally gone. Chad Henne was a dude that he'd talk about forever. 15-year backup career for Chad Henne, but he recently retired. So who's that dude? You still got Case Keenum in the league. He'll be backing up C.J. Stroud.
These are not backup quarterbacks, JJ. You have to realize these are enterprises. When you make the kind of cash these guys are making to sit and do nothing but write, it's an enterprise.
Everyone's favorite backup that they thought should have been the starter is he
Yes.
got good Cooper Rush, Dallas Cowboys.
Yeah.
These are your backups now. Gardner Minshew, Jacoby Brissett, classic.
Are they third guys?
Andy Dalton. These are number 2 guys in the league, but number 3, emergency quarterback situation. And you look, and that also changes things because a team like the San Francisco 49ers, they're rehabbing Brock Purdy. They have Sam Darnold. They got Trey Lance. So one of those dudes is going to be the emergency third quarterback.
Yeah.
You look at in Tennessee, all of a sudden Malik Willis is like, hey, I might still have a job this season after they drafted Will Levis.
Yeah.
Ryan Tannehill, are they going to keep him one more year? Or are they going to cut bait, just get out of his salary? So it's to your point. There's a lot of happy quarterbacks this morning going, I might still have a job.
Lots of happy and I don't mean to get into the technical weeds of it, but you have to make a certain salary after 4 years in the league, and you get your pension. So if you're a third-string guy, if you could just tell jokes, bring donuts, do crossword, if you could do all those, if you have those talents in your quarterback, because you're going to have to entertain now. You can't just sit in that as a third quarterback and not be talented in other areas, because it's going to take something special for a team to keep you on that roster as a third quarterback. And people don't keep rookie quarterbacks as their third quarterbacks. They're usually veteran guys who are going to make the veteran minimum in the NFL. So it'll be interesting to see how that all works out.
That is fantastic. You have to be someone that they want around.
Right. Yes.
Jokes, food.
And I say that
anything,
I
got
say
you,
that
let's go.
because I was in the league when they had the third quarterback, and I saw what kind of guys were the third quarterbacks. and that's who they were. They were joke tellers. They were crossword puzzle guys. They were donut guys who got in the game eventually at some point, and they would pull every muscle in their body because they were so out of shape and never
you
played.
got a paycheck. I want that job.
We all
Exactly.
want to get back.
You don't. You want that job. Every American wants that job.
I want any That's an amazing job. Just be like
Yes, it is.
third string quarterback.
I think we have just discovered it's not third string quarterback. It's not the emergency quarterback rule. It's the donut guy.
Yes.
That's it. It's what we're gonna call it. If
You
you
might
listen
have
to
to
the
go
opening
into
drive,
an NFC championship like once in history.
with you make sure you have a good donut guy on your roster. So that's going to be a new
Absolutely.
term that you're going to hear on the opening drive when we're discussing football. We're into the NFL season. There might be some quarterback injuries. And if we say, how's your donut guy?
Yeah.
We are referring to your third string emergency quarterback.
The all donut team is what you're going to look for. You're going to look for guys that are third string guys that you're saying, man, if they have to put him in the game, boy, are they in trouble.
505-246-0610 377 Brewery Hotline. The Sports Animal text line. A running back just got some extra money, and this is a guy that you want on your fantasy team. This is a guy that is a playmaker, and he just got paid. Well, did he? It's the opening drive here on 95.9 FM, AM 610, the Sports Animal.
This report is sponsored by...
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible. International Protective Services is a proud supporter of ProView Sports and New Mexico Youth Athletics. IPS provides residential and commercial security services in the Albuquerque metro area. For more info, please call 505-897-2420 or visit internationalprotectiveservice.com.
Sometimes it's the small things that make life easier, like never worrying about being declined at an ATM when only cash will do. With You're Covered from US Eagle, we'll cover you, even if the money's not there. That's a good feeling. And we do it with no extra fees or penalties. It's called trust, and we think that's important, especially if we're asking you to trust us. At US Eagle, that's just part of what it means when we say people mean more.
Hi everyone, my name is Master Sergeant Jacob Groves. I am a Air Force Special Warfare Pararescueman. Air Force Special Warfare are proud supporters of ProView Network and New Mexico Youth Sports. Air Force Special Warfare operators are critical thinkers. They maintain a high level of fitness, they take initiative, and they don't quit. For more information on Air Force Special Warfare, contact me at the number listed below.
U.S. Air Force Special Warfare are proud supporters of ProView Sports.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible.
Everguard Roofing and Solar. For nearly 20 years, Everguard Roofing and Solar has been working with New Mexicans to enhance their homes and businesses. For all your roofing and solar needs in New Mexico, call 505-821-9543.
Check it out.
What is it?
It's a time machine, bro. I could jump into the future, get my paycheck early.
I already get my paycheck early at US Eagle.
Get your paycheck up to 2 days early with US Eagle Early Payday. Now's a great time to have your checking with US Eagle.
Time machine.
Your girlfriend breaks up with you in 22 hours, 53 minutes.
Wait, what? Seth?
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible.
As a mom, I try to make the best choices for my family and our health. That's why I choose Western Sky Community Care. It's a Medicaid plan with quality health coverage and special benefits like Boys and Girls Club membership credit, additional dental benefits, and wellness and support programs. I decide which Medicaid plan is right for us. I choose Western Sky Community Care.
Learn more about Western Sky Community Care by visiting discoverwesternsky.com today.
Check it out.
What is it?
It's a time machine, bro. I could jump into the future, get my paycheck early.
I already get my paycheck early at US Eagle.
Get your paycheck up to 2 days early with US Eagle Early Payday. Now's a great time to have your checking with US Eagle.
Time machine.
Your girlfriend breaks up with you in 22 hours, 53 minutes.
Wait, what? Seth?
We fight the battles no one hears about.
We drop into the middle of firefights to rescue others.
And act as one-man air traffic control towers. We're the ones who go before all others.
U.S. Air Force Special Warfare are proud supporters of ProView Sports.
Well, I'm going to the frontier, walking to the cashier, order up a root beer and a number one. Cover it with green stuff, one scoop is not enough. Find a booth that's real tough, back by the Duke. Meet my family, meet my friends in the quirkiest restaurant I have ever been. All of Albuquerque's favorite spot, it's the Frontier Restaurant.
The Frontier Restaurant is a proud supporter of ProView Networks.
Check it out.
What is it?
It's a time machine, bro. I could jump into the future, get my paycheck early.
I already get my paycheck early at US Eagle.
Get your paycheck up to 2 days early with US Eagle Early Payday. Now's a great time to have your checking with US Eagle.
Time machine.
Your girlfriend breaks up with you in 22 hours, 53 minutes.
Wait, what? Seth?
For your business or your home, Valley Fence stands alone. We're number one in New Mexico for a reason. It's the best fence you can own. Proudly serving New Mexico for over 50 years. At Valley Fence, the difference is clear. No fence too big, too small, or difficult. We handle them all at Valley Fence Company.
Well, from the Donut Getters, the emergency third quarterbacks that are getting paid to just be ready, to the position that you get hit all the time, there's a chance that outside of center and quarterback, you touch the football more than anyone else. Yet the NFL does not value you. The NFL doesn't want to pay you extra money. We're talking about the running back position. The shelf life, it's not a long one. And unfortunately, we've seen time and time again, you can find dudes that run the football, dudes that perform, and big second contracts, that's few and far between. It's opening drive here on 95.9 FM, AM 610, The Sports Animal. JJ Buck Marie, our quarterback, Ned James. This offseason, we got Josh Jacobs. We got Saquon Barkley, players that performed at a high level last season, handed the franchise tag. They have not signed the franchise tag yet. They haven't agreed to a long-term extension yet. Austin Eckler, Los Angeles Chargers running back, saying, I want out of here. Well, the Chargers and Eckler have figured it out for now. With 1 year left on the running back's deal, 28-year-old running back, what is his value really worth? Well, Eckler is a really effective player. But what the Chargers did is gave him some incentives. And Los Angeles added close to $2 million in incentives to his deal. So that's a bonus for the Chargers. You're like, we're not guaranteeing any extra money. Just go out there, perform for us, and you get your money. But that's going to keep Austin Eckler off the trade block for now, as he will play his final year of his deal for the Chargers. But that's life as an NFL running back right now, Ned. You want a good one. You want a guy that you can trust in the backfield, but you definitely don't want one of those guys to be taking up that much of your salary cap right now.
Yeah, and the Chargers are just trying to get creative with the with their cap dollars, and they're trying to get a quality running back in the fold with their quarterback, and so I think they kind of gave up a little bit, some concessions to a running back they really didn't feel they were tied to, so to speak. They could get another guy to replace him, but he gets to stay there for another year, and so he's I'm sure he's happy. I don't know exactly what he plans to do after this, or if he plans to, if something goes wrong where he doesn't feel like he's going to get those incentives, is he going to shut it down, or what? So we don't know. But we'll see what the parameters of that when we see the disclosure of what those incentives are, and then how he performs down the road.
And this is too a time in the NFL you got some good backs like Josh Jacobs, Raiders. He was a focal point of the offense last year. Saquon Barkley helped Daniel Jones get a new contract. But what is the value? And I think with those guys, you're doing what's best personally. You're holding out for as much guaranteed money as you can because your shelf life as a running back isn't as long as any of these other guys. And it's also the balance. When you're building these franchises, you're building these teams, how much do you want to invest in there? If I'm looking at someone like Josh Jacobs, Saquon Barkley, if I get him on a shorter deal, maybe have to guarantee him more money, I'm absolutely all about that. But what concessions are these guys willing to make to take those deals? And right now, it's a tough position because, you can get the glory, you can score the touchdowns, you can get the yards. And then when you're coming off that rookie deal, you're like, all right, I'm ready for my big contract. These teams are like, yeah, no, thank you. We're going to get the next guy.
When you're franchised, though, it's a little bit different. You don't have to sign the franchise tag. There could be some stipulations that, hey, if I do sign this franchise tag, you won't franchise me next time, and I'm able to walk away and be a free agent, unrestricted free agent, and test my wares on the market, which a lot of teams don't want great backs to do. So there's leverage, for some of these great backs, and it's not all doom and gloom for them. And when you have great backs, the only time you need a running back is when you don't have a running back. And so these guys that are great running backs, there's a reason they're great, and they're talented. They deserve to be compensated at what level. It's just dependent on the club and what the club sees as value. And we could say that we don't value running backs, but I dare you find a team that doesn't have one that says that they can win without him.
There's a value there. It's just not a value in the contract you want to give a running back right now. Like the deals that wide receivers are getting in the game, teams are much more willing to give those guys the big time contracts right now than the running backs. And instead, there's still time. Like the process plays out. It's not, what is it, July? Like the franchise tag deadline. Yeah. So Saquon Barkley, Josh Jacobs, the guys kind of we're focusing on at the top, have time to figure it out if they want to sign that tag, get some guaranteed money next year, or take the hit, sit back and put the pressure on a team and see if they get antsy to want to give you that long-term contract extension. 505-246-0610. That is the 377 Brewery hotline and the Sports Animal text line. Got this in on the text line. It said, did JJ just say the Celtics are the most talented teams in the playoffs or the postseason? Question mark, question mark, question mark. Yes, I did. But there's a difference between being the most talented and being the best team. And I think if you look at the Boston Celtics, you start running it down. Jason Tatum, Jaylen Brown, Marcus Smart, the sixth man of the year, Malcolm Brogdon, Robert Williams, Al Horford. You're going to take a lot of those Boston Celtics guys before some of the role players on the other team. But that's what we're talking about, and that's what it makes the Nuggets special. That's what has made the Heat special. They have that extra it factor, that they got the job done so far. The Nuggets swept their way to the NBA Finals. The Heat could do it tonight in Game 4. It's JJ Buck, Amory, our quarterback, Ned James, Adrian holding it down on ProView Networks, and right here on 95.9 FM, AM 610, the Sports Animal.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible.
These are more than just the sounds of a safe place to go after school. These are the sounds of interest being ignited and of mentors making an impact. At Boys and Girls Clubs, we don't do just one thing. We do whatever it takes to meet the needs of every kid who comes through those doors. Because whatever it takes is what it takes to build great futures. Great futures start here.
International Protective Services is a proud supporter of ProView Sports and New Mexico Youth Athletics. IPS provides residential and commercial security services in the Albuquerque metro area. For more info, please call 505-897-2420 or visit internationalprotectiveservice.com.
Sometimes it's the small things that make life easier, like never worrying about being declined at an ATM when only cash will do. With your covered from US Eagle, we'll cover you, even if the money's not there. That's a good feeling. And we do it with no extra fees or penalties. It's called trust, and we think that's important, especially if we're asking you to trust us. At US Eagle, that's just part of what it means when we say people mean more.
Don't sacrifice quality of flavor when you're in a hurry. Golden Pride offers ribs, fried chicken, green and red chili breakfast burritos, and Frontier Cinnabons. 4 great locations, or visit us online at goldenpride@abq.com. Golden Pride Barbecue Chicken and Ribs, proud supporter of ProView Sports Network.
Check it out.
What is it?
It's a time machine, bro. I could jump into the future, get my paycheck early.
I already get my paycheck early at US Eagle.
Get your paycheck up to 2 days early with US Eagle Early Payday. Now's a great time to have your checking with US Eagle.
Time machine.
Your girlfriend breaks up with you in 22 hours, 53 minutes.
Wait, what? Seth?
We fight the battles no one hears about.
We drop into the middle of firefights to rescue others.
And act as one-man air traffic control towers. We're the ones who go before all others.
U.S. Air Force Special Warfare are proud supporters of ProView Sports.
Hi everyone, my name is Master Sergeant Jacob Groves. I am a Air Force Special Warfare pararescueman. Air Force Special Warfare are proud supporters of ProView Network and New Mexico Youth Sports. Air Force Special Warfare operators are critical thinkers. They maintain a high level of fitness, they take initiative, and they don't quit. For more information on Air Force Special Warfare, contact me at the number listed below.
U.S. Air Force Special Warfare are proud supporters of ProView Sports.
As a mom, I try to make the best choices for my family and our health. That's why I choose Western Sky Community Care. It's a Medicaid plan with quality health coverage and special benefits like Boys and Girls Club membership credit, additional dental benefits, and wellness and support programs. I decide which Medicaid plan is right for us. I choose Western Sky Community Care.
Learn more about Western Sky Community Care by visiting discoverwesternsky.com today.
International Protective Services is a proud supporter of ProView Sports and New Mexico Youth Athletics. IPS provides residential and commercial security services in the Albuquerque metro area. For more info, please call 505-897-2420 or visit internationalprotectiveservice.com. We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible.
Well, I'm going to the frontier, walking to the cashier, order up a root beer and a number one. Cover it with green stuff, one scoop is not enough. Find a booth is real tough, back by the Duke. Meet my family, meet my friends in the quirkiest restaurant I have ever been. All of Albuquerque's favorite spot, it's the Frontier Restaurant.
The Frontier Restaurant is a proud supporter of ProView Networks.
We fight the battles no one hears about.
We drop into the middle of firefights to rescue others.
And act as one-man air traffic control.
Time New Mexico Sportscaster of the Year, Jeff Symbieta, A. Marie Castillo, and JJ Bob.
For the first time ever, the Denver Nuggets are going to the NBA Finals, and they did it with their first ever postseason sweep of an opponent in the playoffs. as the Nuggets beat the Lakers last night 113-111. And this is a series that there's so many moments, so many questions. You're the Lakers coming off that one, but it is all about the Denver Nuggets. What it do, everyone? Welcome into the opening drive here on 95.9 FM, AM 610, the Sports Animal. We lost a picture of Ned, but I know he's still there. JJ Buck Amory, our quarterback, Ned James, and also joined by the voice of the Lobos, Robert Portnoy, with us this morning. Robert, what's up, man? How you doing?
Oh, it's great being with you guys. I love coming in studio and hanging out with you, and this feels like an old home when I come in here. So, yeah, this is fun. Great to be with you.
I know it's slowing down. It's kind of the off season when it comes to the voice. You're coming off of the baseball season, just wrapping up, but you're still a sports guy, and that's what we love. We were going back and forth too because I know you're a Lakers fan, and we were talking after Game 1. I am still shocked that the Lakers did not win a game in this series, and after Game 1, I was one of those people. Like, I thought, not that they found an answer to something, I just thought, hey, the way that they're playing, Darvin Ham made decisions that worked. Hachimura playing more minutes, removing D'Angelo Russell out of the rotation. I was shocked that they were swept in this series.
I was too, and yes, after Game 1, I was fortunate enough to be at Game 1. I got to see it in person, and it looked like Denver was better, younger, faster, and for 2.5 quarters, it looked like they were going to boat race them in Game 1, and then the Lakers did prove that they belonged in the series, and they could have won each of the 4 games, honestly. Like, even though the spread at the end of the third game was a little bigger, it was still a one-possession game deep into the fourth quarter. And I know that's the frustration that LeBron James expressed after the game yesterday. But the reality is that all those things that I said at the beginning are still true. Yeah. Denver's better. They're deeper. They're more balanced. They're faster. They're younger. And maybe even hungrier. And it's their time. It really is their time. I don't think that Miami has the firepower to beat them in a finals.
I think it's going to be a fascinating matchup because of just a three-point shooting of Miami. And I think it's okay that we look ahead in these conference finals because it's never happened, a team overcoming a 3-0 deficit to make it. And when you look at this Lakers run, and LeBron James coming out kind of waxing poetic after the season. Then you had Chris Haynes, a Bleacher Report, saying that retirement could be seriously on his mind. I don't think I'm buying that just yet. That's all right, I'm going to take a step back and see what happens. I'm going to take a step back and see what Rob Pelinka and company do now. But they won an NBA championship. They were in the Western Conference Finals. But when you put LeBron James into the equation, the expectations are not 1, not 2, not 3. As someone that watched this Lakers team, is a fan of this team, how do you view this LeBron era so far?
Man, it almost feels like if he retires from basketball and he only got 1 championship in a Laker uniform, that it was a failure. And I that's horrible, right? That's horrible. They were the best team of the bubble. I don't buy that the bubble championship is somehow an asterisk championship. That's garbage. And yet they have had a couple of non-competitive seasons while he's been there. And it almost feels like unless they do something really dramatic this offseason, and I'm talking about it's the D'Lo spot, right? Like D'Lo, he just disappeared. There's no other way to put it. He just disappeared. He got benched in an elimination game in the conference finals. Unless they make a splash at that spot, unless it's Dame Lillard or maybe Kyrie Irving, or I don't know, however that works. Kind of interesting that Kyrie Irving's in the front row of the game where they're eliminated, and D'Lo isn't even in the starting lineup anymore. I don't know. I mean, it almost felt like this was LeBron's last best chance to win another title with the Lakers because they were good enough. They weren't the best team in the conference finals, but they were good enough. A couple of things break differently in 2 of those 4 games. Now there's some scoreboard pressure on Denver, and all of a sudden it's a completely different deal because they're in a position they've never been in before. So, yeah, that's a lot of ifs and buts, but it does feel a little bit like that was the last best chance, and I can see why LeBron was sort of thinking big picture after the game yesterday.
Yeah, Ned, I know it's something that we were talking about, and you pointed out too. At some point in time, you just have to acknowledge you're 38 years old, and that's the case with LeBron James. And I think we saw the last best effort he had, and that's the difference. You know, LeBron, there's still a consistency he has to his game. He wasn't bad in the postseason. He wasn't bad in the series. But in terms of thinking that, hey, he can go out there and take over a game, that's might happen in Game 4. But it might only happen once or twice in a 7-game series when we're so used to LeBron being able to do that every single night.
Yeah, I think LeBron knows better than most in the NBA now, especially, that you can't do it by yourself. You have to have surrounding talent. You have to have a surrounding cast. And I think that's where he's at right now. He wants to see if the Lakers are going to get him some help. At this juncture in his career, I think he needs a lot more help than he needed before. Sure, he had the breakout game 4 with the 20-something points or 30 points in that first half. But still, it's going to take a lot. And I don't know if they can get enough to get him over the top. This Denver team is loaded. They're going to reload next year. They'll be just as formidable next year. I don't know if the Lakers will have. Jokic is playing out of his mind right now. I don't know what Mike Malone has done with him, but he has just turned him into a superstar. And I credit Mike Malone a lot for that. I remember calling you, JJ, years ago, laughing on the phone because I absolutely loved the fact that Jokic would try to come out of the game because he was so tired and overweight, and Mike Malone would not, like a father on the sideline, would say, "No, son, you got to stay out there because you got to work yourself into shape." Yes, it was like, get back out there.
Get back out there and
get back out there. Keep running. And so he eventually worked his way into a great player, and I just don't know if the Lakers are going to ever get enough for LeBron there to be able to compete with this team that looks formidable. It has been formidable for the last couple of years.
See, and that's – I'm not 100% in on that because everyone loved the Lakers before this Western Conference Final Series. Everyone was like, Rob Pelinka pulled one over on the rest of the league. Look at what they've done. They had a 15-point halftime lead at home, and he got outplayed in the second half. And that's 3 straight games in the second half where the Nuggets were just better overall. And it's fascinating because that's a talking point moving forward for the Lakers is, LeBron James going to put that pressure on the franchise. I might retire. I might walk away. What are you going to do? And if you're the Lakers too, is it the best decision to just continue with kind of the youth movement, keep around Roy Hachimura, keep around Austin Reeves, or do you need to make that big swing? Is Kyrie Irving that missing piece? Because it sure really wasn't Russell Westbrook when they tried to go in the quote-unquote big 3 moving forward. 505-246-0610, 377 Brewery Hotline. Vince, you're on the Sports Animal. What's going on, Vince?
Hey, JJ. Hey, congratulations to your Nuggets. I was a long-time Nuggets fan. I remember as a kid, definitely showing my age here, listening to them on KOA and watching them back in McNichol Sports Arena with David Thompson and Dan Issel and Bobby Jones and all those guys. So congratulations to the franchise. That's awesome that they finally got to the pinnacle, and hopefully they can win this thing. Great. Jokic, he's incredible. He's an incredible player, and congratulations on that. Now onto your baseball team. The Rockies play in what we call a hitter's park, and their leading home run hitter is C.J. Cron. He's got 6 home runs. The Tampa Bay Rays, on the other hand, small market team, don't necessarily play in a hitter's park. They play in a pitcher's park. Guess how many guys they have that have hit 7 or more home runs so far this year?
I'm going to go with like 8 or 9.
10.
Wow.
That's absolutely incredible. Obviously, that's a big problem why the Rockies are not doing well, but they definitely lack some power. But anyway, not to rain on your parade. Congratulations to the Nuggets. Great job, and we'll root for them in the finals.
Appreciate the phone call, Vince. Yeah, I think baseball right now definitely on the back burner in the Mile High City. It's all about the Nuggets. There's frustration when the Avalanche went out defending Stanley Cup champs, and you know how big of a football town that is. We'll save that baseball conversation for a little bit later in this summer because essentially it's like half the Albuquerque Ice Soaps up there right now for the Rockies with the amount of injuries that they have going on. But the Nuggets are moving on to the NBA Finals. Can the Heat get it done tonight as they try to sweep the Boston Celtics Game 4 in Miami? So we come back on the other side, though. News in Lobo land, keeping it on the hardwood. And Richard Pitino, he's getting old, and he's staying old at a certain position. And has he found the right groove when it comes to what you have to do to build a roster in today's day and age in college athletics? We got a full house. JJ Buck Gamer, our quarterback, Ned James, the voice, Robert Portnoy with you. It's the opening drive here on 95.9 FM, AM 610, the Sports Animal.
The summer concert season is just getting started.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible. International Protective Services is a proud supporter of ProView Sports and New Mexico Youth Athletics. IPS provides residential and commercial security services in the Albuquerque metro area. For more info, please call 505-897-2420 or visit internationalprotectiveservice.com.
We fight the battles no one hears about.
We drop into the middle of firefights to rescue others.
And act as one-man air traffic control towers. We're the ones who go before all others.
U.S. Air Force Special Warfare are proud supporters of ProView Sports.
Check it out.
What is it?
It's a time machine, bro. I could jump into the future, get my paycheck early.
I already get my paycheck early at US Eagle.
Get your paycheck up to 2 days early with US Eagle Early Payday. Now's a great time to have your checking with US Eagle.
Time machine.
Your girlfriend breaks up with you in 22 hours, 53 minutes.
Wait, what? Seth?
Hi everyone, my name is Master Sergeant Jacob Groves. I am a Air Force Special Warfare Pararescueman. Air Force Special Warfare are proud supporters of ProView Network and New Mexico Youth Sports. Air Force Special Warfare operators are critical thinkers. They maintain a high level of fitness, they take initiative, and they don't quit. For more information on Air Force Special Warfare, contact me at the number listed below.
U.S. Air Force Special Warfare are proud supporters of ProView Sports.
Well, I'm going to the frontier, walking to the cashier, order up a root beer and a number one. Cover it with green stuff, one scoop is not enough. Find a booth that's real tough, back by the Duke. Meet my family, meet my friends in the quirkiest restaurant I have ever been. All of Albuquerque's favorite spot, it's the Frontier Restaurant.
The Frontier Restaurant is a proud supporter of ProView Networks.
These are more than just the sounds of a safe place to go after school. These are the sounds of interest being ignited and of mentors making an impact. At Boys and Girls Clubs, we don't do just one thing. We do whatever it takes to meet the needs of every kid who comes through those doors. Because whatever it takes is what it takes to build great futures. Great futures start here.
Sometimes it's the small things that make life easier, like never worrying about being declined at an ATM when only cash will do. With your covered from US Eagle, we'll cover you, even if the money's not there. That's a good feeling. And we do it with no extra fees or penalties. It's called trust, and we think that's important, especially if we're asking you to trust us. At US Eagle, that's just part of what it means when we say people mean more.
We fight the battles no one hears about.
We drop into the middle of firefights to rescue others.
And act as one-man air traffic control towers. We're the ones who go before all others.
U.S. Air Force Special Warfare are proud supporters of ProView Sports.
5
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible.
As a mom, I try to make the best choices for my family and our health. That's why I choose Western Sky Community Care. It's a Medicaid plan with quality health coverage and special benefits like Boys and Girls Club membership credit, additional dental benefits, and wellness and support programs. I decide which Medicaid plan is right for us. I choose Western Sky.
Going to the NBA Finals, Miami Heat trying to join them tonight in college athletics. The transfer portal, well, it might be closed, but the signings never stop. A new addition to Lobo basketball was announced yesterday. Isaac Mushila, 6'5" senior, used his final year of eligibility at UNM. He transferred in from Texas A&M Corpus Christi. But how does a 16-point, 15-rebound game in the NCAA tournament against Alabama sound? It sounds pretty good. I think Richard Pitino, we've seen the last 2 years that he and his staff, they're understanding this new era. And there's a lot that goes into it. You got to have support outside the athletic department. They're getting that from their collective and Kurt Roth and 505 Sports Ventures, because that's a piece to this free agent puzzle in college athletics. Opening drive here on 95.9 FM, AM 610, the Sports Animal. JJ Buck-Amory, our quarterback, Ned James, wishes he still had a couple left in that arm to get in an NIL deal at UNM. The voice of the Lobos, Robert Portnoy, hanging out with us this morning. And to me, just seeing what Richard Pitino has been able to do is he gets it. He understands the pieces where you still have to be attractive and effective in high school recruiting to land some young players, try to find those diamonds in the rough. They did that last year with Donovan Dent. I know people are super excited with True Washington, the guard, coming in, Jaden Toppin out of Texas. But it's about getting old and staying old, even if it's only in 1 or 2 year windows. And they've done that again this offseason. And they bring in a player who's only 6'5", but a dude that averaged 14-9, first team All Southland Conference last season. I know last year was so much fun to watch. They got to finish better, but I got to believe, Rob, that you're just sitting back looking at what Coach Pitino is doing and going, man, this is going to be fun once again.
It is going to be so much fun, JJ. It's the incredible balance with which this new roster has been constructed that has me so excited. Mustafa Amsil, if you look at his tape, he is an absolutely perfect fit into what Coach Pitino wants to do offensively. He is the four-man that hunts threes. He's a knockdown shooter from any spot on the court with deep range. This guy, Isaac Mushila, the most recent signee, plug him in as a backup at either the 3 or the 4, and you can play big or small. He can shoot. He's a voracious rebounder. And then I could go on and on. Nelly Jr. Joseph, in terms of trying to replace Morris Udeze at the 5 position, is a grand slam. And Jamal Baker is a 12-point-a-game Pac-12 scorer at Arizona who started his career at Kentucky, a former 4-star with tons of experience who will start at the 3 and can be relied upon night in and night out to be consistently productive on both ends of the court at 6'5". The construction of the roster just has me absolutely drooling. I mean, it's so impressive what they've done.
And I think, too, is I think the depth that this team can have during the regular season could pay dividends down the stretch, because when the games get tight, you're going to lock in. Just look at the minutes played last night in Game 4 of the Western Conference Finals. You're going to lean on your guys. But I think the challenge, though, for Richard Pitino is in the regular season, is he going to be able to let some of these guys go? Is he going to give the young guys enough minutes to where this team can build some depth but not get too caught up in just focusing on 5 for the entire season? Because that's a challenge. That's an easy thing to say. It's easy for us to say. But when you're sitting there on those sidelines and you're a coach and it could be November and early December, you're still locked in on winning the game. And so I think that's going to be the biggest thing for me is, what can you get out of Donovan Dent? Can Alphonse Webb get some minutes early? Because later in the season you're going to lock into that rotation.
That's a great point. And, the Lobos were short last year. There's no question about it. you think about what a difference it could have made on that roster, if there could have been full buy-in to the team concept and what the Lobos were doing, from a player like Jay Allen Tovar, and what he would have meant to the depth of the roster and the ability over the course of 30-plus games. So yes, this year's roster will have that depth from the outset. I'm excited to see what a Webb and an Applehans can contribute. Now, as sophomores, right? So one of them will be a redshirt, right? A redshirt freshman. But anyway, the point is that I think that the construction of this roster is just off the charts, and I can't even believe how it has come together. They have hit a home run at every single spot, JJ.
Well, I know one of the things, Ned, that you were talking about, and a big question for you is chemistry, and how do you develop that with players these days coming in, maybe only spending a year with the team?
Yeah, with the new guys coming in and trying to plug and play them, and the older guys, the guys who have been here, getting them to all be on the same page and to get along. The coaching is going to be there. They're gonna know exactly what they need to do, but it's the stuff that happens outside. I mean, and like I said, with the chemistry, it's really difficult to tell early on. When you have a guy like Udeze, who's just so well liked inside the locker room and outside on campus, when you talk to kids, Udeze is the guy that stood out. Alec being the kind of guy that he was, kind of a scrapper, will these guys kind of fit into those roles? Because those are 20-plus wins right there with those two guys added to the roster. Now, the backcourt is the same, but can we get the same production and probably more? And will this be a better team in some people's eyes? And that's where it's going to be sold. It's going to be sold as this is going to be better than Udeze and Alec. And so people are going to expect more than 24 or 25 wins then, if that's the case. And so I'm just excited to see, where the chemistry goes from here. I know seeing some of the guys, you just talk to them just briefly because you just don't want to take up too much of their time because they have so many people pulling at them. But I'm curious to see moving forward with the new guys coming in, will we have that infectious chemistry that Udeze brought with him and Alec when these new guys arrive on campus this summer, and will they connect with this community and be a big part of this community like those two guys were?
I think, one thing too is you win, you're going to be everyone's favorite player. But I think they're, to Ned's point though, that's a bigger challenge than ever, is because you got to click right away. Like you are here, and some of these guys on 1-year deals to help this team win right now. And I think part of that too comes with the honesty of what you're asking these players to do. And I think Rich Pitino has been open about that. Is you're honest with these guys up front. This is your role. This is what we want you to do. And that, I think, helps the process because no one's hiding anymore, because everyone understands college athletics has changed. There's a pro aspect to it. When we are reading a story about a brand new Lobo offensive lineman, and initially he said he was cut. Essentially, he was cut from Colorado, so the Lobos were able to pick him up. I think just being honest about it goes a long way.
So you've hit the nail on the head. And here's why I think that there's a chance that the chemistry can be great again, because it is important, 100%. Ned's right. The fact that the Lobos were able to mesh the way that they did last year so well depended on a few different things, right? You had to have a Josiah Alec willing to accept a role where he was not the primary low post guy. And he didn't get offensive opportunity where the ball was in his hands consistently, where he could create and make plays. That was Morris Udeze's role. Josiah has left looking for more of a role like that, back in Nebraska, his home. That's great. This player, Isaac Mushila, who's just signed with the Lobos, is coming into this with his eyes wide open. He has to know that essentially the Lobos starting lineup was already recruited to UNM through the transfer portal before he signed. That doesn't mean, and assumptions are made, right? That doesn't mean that he couldn't theoretically beat out Jamal Baker for the starting 3 position and end up being the guy at that spot. I don't see it happening. Baker is a a high-level Division I stud who is also, like Mushila, coming in as a graduate on a one final season. Mushila knows that his role is going to be he's slotting into the Josiah Alex spot of I need to be the role player. I need to be the rebound grabber. I need to be the loose ball guy. I need to be that player. And he has to know that coming in. And I think that one thing that was huge for the Lobos in terms of going into those recruiting visits to get these guys to come here was Morris Udeze on tape at the end of last season saying, everything they told me in my recruitment to UNM as a transfer came to fruition. Everything they said was truth. I heard it, the real talk, and they were true to their word. And that's all you want to hear as a recruit. You just want honesty and you want to know what you're getting into. I think that's why it has such a great chance to succeed.
Well, the reality is you can handle the truth, and that's what they're trying to tell you when it comes to Lobo men's basketball. It is the opening drive here on 95.9 FM, AM 610, the Sports Animal.
Telling it like it is.
The floor in the AFC is...
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible. International Protective Services is a proud supporter of ProView Sports and New Mexico Youth Athletics. IPS provides residential and commercial security services in the Albuquerque metro area. For more info, please call 505-897-2420 or visit internationalprotectiveservice.com.
We fight the battles no one hears about.
We drop into the middle of firefights to rescue others.
And act as one-man air traffic control towers. We're the ones who go before all others.
U.S. Air Force Special Warfare are proud supporters of ProView Sports.
Check it out.
What is it?
It's a time machine, bro. I could jump into the future, get my paycheck early.
I already get my paycheck early at US Eagle.
Get your paycheck up to 2 days early with US Eagle Early Payday. Now's a great time to have your checking with US Eagle.
Time machine.
Your girlfriend breaks up with you in 22 hours, 53 minutes.
Wait, what? Seth?
Hi everyone, my name is Master Sergeant Jacob Groves. I am a Air Force Special Warfare Pararescueman. Air Force Special Warfare are proud supporters of ProView Network and New Mexico Youth Sports. Air Force Special Warfare operators are critical thinkers. They maintain a high level of fitness, they take initiative, and they don't quit. For more information on Air Force Special Warfare, contact me at the number listed below.
U.S. Air Force Special Warfare are proud supporters of ProView Sports.
Well, I'm going to the frontier, walking to the cashier, order up a root beer and a number one. Cover it with green stuff, one scoop is not enough. Find a booth that's real tough, back by the Duke. Meet my family, meet my friends in the quirkiest restaurant I have ever been. All of Albuquerque's favorite spot, it's the Frontier Restaurant.
The Frontier Restaurant is a proud supporter of ProView Networks.
These are more than just the sounds of a safe place to go after school. These are the sounds of interest being ignited and of mentors making an impact. At Boys and Girls Clubs, we don't do just one thing. We do whatever it takes to meet the needs of every kid who comes through those doors. Because whatever it takes is what it takes to build great futures. Great futures start here.
Sometimes it's the small things that make life easier, like never worrying about being declined at an ATM when only cash will do. With your covered from US Eagle, we'll cover you, even if the money's not there. That's a good feeling. And we do it with no extra fees or penalties. It's called trust, and we think that's important, especially if we're asking you to trust us. At US Eagle, that's just part of what it means when we say people.
the sad news that we found out yesterday: former Lobo football player Jaden Hullaby was a tight end and running back UNM. He transferred in from Texas, played with the Lobos last year, went back in the transfer portal. But social media post by his brother, Hullaby was found dead over the weekend. He was reported missing by his family. The cause of death has not been reported. It's not clear where he was found, but Jaden Hullaby passed away over the weekend, and that's just, it's just devastating news. It's so sad to hear about a young life, and unfortunately for the Lobos, it's another situation that this team has had to deal with over the last couple of years. Losing friends, teammates, and it's one where just your heart goes out to the whole Hullaby family.
Thoughts and prayers. Rest in peace, Jaden. And yeah, it's a tough one. That's a guy that came in as a tight end from Texas, and I remember it was in training camp that he got a chance in a couple of short yardage scenarios to carry the ball as a running back, just sort of as oh yeah, let's check this out, see what this looks like. And he started running over guys, and he pushed his way onto the field at that position. Your heart breaks. Your heart breaks, JJ.
Yeah, that's sad news that came out. Jaden Hullaby passes away over the weekend, and it's tough. It's a situation that unfortunately we've been in too many times in recent history when it comes to Lobos, former players, or athletes. But hearts and prayers, thoughts go out to the Hullaby family over the weekend. It is the opening drive here on 95.9 FM, AM 610, the Sports Animal. Full house, final hour this Tuesday morning. JJ Buck, Amory, our quarterback, Ned James, the voice of Robert Portnoy, with you. Finally winding down a little bit because he goes football season right into basketball season. Oh, you pick it up with baseball. And, man, this Lobo baseball team, they were so much fun to watch. And Rob, you were just explaining to me how close they were to getting to the Mountain West tournament.
Yeah, it would have been their first berth in the Mountain West tournament since 2017, which ironically was the first year that the Mountain West moved to the current format of only 4 teams making the tournament instead of the entire league getting a chance in the tournament. And that's a conversation and a controversy for another day. But the Lobos got beaten out for the last spot to get into the tournament this year by Fresno State, a team that New Mexico put on the brink themselves by sweeping Fresno State here in Albuquerque 3-4 weeks from the end of the regular season. I'll take you back to the early part of the regular season in Mountain West play when the Lobos were in Fresno, and there was a game where New Mexico had a 1-run lead and had Fresno State down to its final out and its final strike in the bottom of the 9th with nobody on, and ended up losing that game. That is a 2-game flip in the standings between those two teams if the Lobos win that game instead of losing it. And then fast forward to the final week of the regular season and Thursday night in San Diego, and the Lobos are playing San Diego State, and they have the Aztecs down to their final out and their final strike in the bottom of the 9th, and the Aztecs hit a walk-off 3-run home run to win. If those 2 last strikes are achieved by New Mexico, that's the difference in the season. The Lobos are in. It didn't even matter what would have happened on Friday and Saturday in San Diego. The Lobos would have flipped enough to knock Fresno State out and get into the tournament. The margin is razor thin. The league was really good this year and very balanced. And Todd Brown's team made huge progress this season from his first year as the Lobo head man. New Mexico nearly won another national batting championship this year. They almost won the NCAA batting title. They came up just short. They were at the top or near the top the entire year. It was one of the most fun lineups to watch. Now I've been with the Lobos 13 years, and this was
It's really been 13 years, Rob.
11. I'm sorry. Let me think about
Where's
that
the
again.
time gone?
Yeah, no, it's just it's flying by. But anyway, the point is that it was a 2013 team. Mitch, DJ Peterson, an incredible lineup that was filled with future big leaguers. And this is the best lineup since then. So, there's no doubt about it. It's been. I'm shortchanging myself for how long I've been in Albuquerque, but yeah, this is an unbelievable jump for Coach Brown and the Lobos.
Well, you mentioned Mitch Garver.
Yep.
He's back in town. He's on a AAA rehab assignment with Round Rock. They begin a 6-game set.
11 years with the Lobos.
11 years with the boys. Rob Portnoy. Mitch Garver, one of those Lobos back in town trying to work his way back from a knee injury. So you're going to get a chance to see the former Lobo play in a 6-game series. I don't know how many games he's going to play because he's just getting back after going on the injured list. April
Rangers
10th.
now. Yep.
Yeah, Round Rock Express, the AAA affiliate of the Texas Rangers. And you mentioned the changes that baseball made. Was that one to make sure like the best team won the postseason tournament? Because Ned, I got to believe as a player, whether you're in first or you're in 7th place, you want an opportunity to play in the postseason. And when we see some of these tournaments not involve all the teams, what do you think about that as a former player?
Yeah, it's just disappointing. Greg Brown had such high expectations for this team. He made a really good point to me earlier in the season where he says they're just looking to flip their season as opposed to what their record was last year, to flip that to more wins this year than losses as they had last year, and he essentially did that. It's just unfortunate that the format of the playoffs was changed and they weren't able to get into the playoffs so they could see where they could possibly do and maybe make a run or a stab at getting into the baseball playoffs. But I just thought that he did a great job this year. I really enjoyed this team, and like Robert said, this was a really, really fun team to watch. Unfortunately, they just came up a little short. I have to hear it from my Fresno State buddy about Fresno State being the
Man,
team.
you had
to
a
get
rough
in.
year when it came.
I'm having a rough year with the Fresno people. Yeah, and it's just unfortunate that this happens to be a longtime friend of mine, and he's.
He wears you out?
Ron Jenkins is great. He just wears me down. And then the golf, I got to pay for golf, and I got to pay for dinners, and it's just awful. But
got to turn their luck around against Fresno State.
Yes, and like I said, I'm never gonna vote. I'm never gonna bet against the Lobos. So I'm always gonna be more than happy to pay for a couple rounds of golf and some dinners, and we'll see what happens the next year, because there's always next year. And I have a belief in our team in basketball, football, and baseball. I don't take a back seat to any of the sports, and so we'll see moving forward. And hopefully baseball. I know baseball is going to get it turned around. I'm just glad that we had a good season this season.
Rob, you mentioned the league when they made the changes, and baseball is not a sport that's sponsored by every Mountain West institution, and it's a bit of a challenge, and we're still looking at could there be more conference movement? The Big 12 done, what happens with the Pac-12 television deal? How do the baseball coaches feel about the league? Is because it's about football first and foremost, and then basketball, but then there is a trickle-down effect when you look at the other Olympic sports. Would they like to see more teams in the Mountain West, or are they content kind of where it is right now?
So just rewind back to the COVID year and 2020, and they had just come out of their developmental phase, and Boise State had baseball again, and they were playing. Now, of course, that was the year that the season was cut short way too early, obviously. Unfortunately for Boise State and baseball in Boise, they decided, the administration there, once again, budgetary issues, they said, resulting from COVID, forced them to contract their athletic department. And right after they had restarted the program, they cut baseball again. So, yes, they would love to have an 8-team league. You die to have a balanced league. You want to have that balance in the schedule. One of the issues right now, honestly, with the baseball schedule in the Mountain West is that imbalance, and the fact that it is such a long season, and when you play a particular team, almost matters as much as who you're playing and which teams are on your schedule and which teams aren't. That's why I think having an inclusive postseason tournament right now with a 7-team league and an unbalanced schedule is so important, because I don't think opportunity is exactly the same for every team during the regular season until you balance that out. I feel very strongly about that. Another interesting little issue, behind the scenes kind of issue.
We see that in a lot of Olympic sports.
Yeah.
Softball is the same thing. And
Exactly. The Mountain West needs to do something about the situation with the baseball tournament. Like, there were teams coming down to the last week not knowing if they were in or out, and at the finish line scrambling to get travel secured to Fresno. There's another event, a big event going on in Fresno right now, and I think that it might work out that a couple teams that made the Mountain West tournament in baseball are going to end up staying probably an hour outside the city in like nearby Visalia or something like that, because they could not book hotel rooms because they're all booked out. So yeah, there are issues. There are issues.
And you wonder too, is it just cost effectiveness, or are they looking out for the best team? Because we see it across the board. It's 6 teams in women's soccer that make the Mountain West tournament as opposed to all of them. And kind of what are we doing? And Jeff says this all the time, Jeff Symbieta, who are we doing it for? And especially in college athletics, to me, it's not crazy. It feels like if you want to play a postseason, should every team be involved? I think the answer is yes in college athletics. Now, I understand the whole, you're playing for something. If you're not good enough, why should you be there?
What makes March Madness?
Yeah.
What makes it so awesome?
It's that chance.
It's the chance. It's exactly that. If you catch a heater at the end of the year and you playing your best ball when you go into the tournament and you make some noise, it gives every fan base hope, and it puts butts in seats, baby.
505-246-0610, 377 Brewery Hotline, the Sports Animal text line this morning. So it's been about team basketball. The best team in the Western Conference is going to the NBA Finals. The best team in the East is up 3-0. But what does that mean for the talent? It's opening drive here on 95.9 FM, AM 610, the Sports Animal.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible.
As a mom, I try to make the best choices for my family and our health. That's why I choose Western Sky Community Care. It's a Medicaid plan with quality health coverage and special benefits like Boys and Girls Club membership credit, additional dental benefits, and wellness and support programs. I decide which Medicaid plan is right for us. I choose Western Sky Community Care.
Learn more about Western Sky Community Care by visiting discoverwesternsky.com today.
Don't sacrifice quality of flavor when you're in a hurry. Golden Pride offers ribs, fried chicken, green and red chili breakfast burritos, and Frontier Cinnabons. 4 great locations, or visit us online at goldenpride@abq.com. Golden Pride Barbecue Chicken and Ribs, proud supporter of ProView Sports Network.
These are more than just the sounds of a safe place to go after school. These are the sounds of interest being ignited and of mentors making an impact. At Boys and Girls Clubs, we don't do just one thing. We do whatever it takes to meet the needs of every kid who comes through those doors. Because whatever it takes is what it takes to build great futures. Great futures start here.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible.
Everguard Roofing and Solar. For nearly 20 years, Everguard Roofing and Solar has been working with New Mexicans to enhance their homes and businesses. For all your roofing and solar needs in New Mexico, call 505-821-9543.
Rudy's is a proud supporter of ProView Networks.
Check it out.
What is it?
It's a time machine, bro. I could jump into the future, get my paycheck early.
I already get my paycheck early at US Eagle.
Get your paycheck up to 2 days early with US Eagle Early Payday. Now's a great time to have your checking with US Eagle.
Time machine.
Your girlfriend breaks up with you in 22 hours, 53 minutes.
Wait, what? Seth?
Hi everyone, my name is Master Sergeant Jacob Groves. I am a Air Force Special Warfare pararescueman. Air Force Special Warfare are proud supporters of ProView Network and New Mexico Youth Sports. Air Force Special Warfare operators are critical thinkers. They maintain a high level of fitness, they take initiative, and they don't quit. For more information on Air Force Special Warfare, contact me at the number listed below.
U.S. Air Force Special Warfare are proud supporters of ProView Sports.
International Protective Services is a proud supporter of ProView Sports and New Mexico Youth Athletics. IPS provides residential and commercial security services in the Albuquerque metro area. For more info, please call 505-897-2420 or visit internationalprotectiveservice.com.
We fight the battles no one hears about.
We drop into the middle of firefights to rescue others.
And act as one-man air traffic control towers. We're the ones who go before all others.
U.S. Air Force Special Warfare are proud supporters.
Will the Celtics show heart? That's where we're at with the Boston Celtics. Are they going to give the effort needed just to compete for 4 quarters? And I do believe that of the 4 teams that were in the conference finals, the Boston Celtics are the most talented team. But talent doesn't always equal getting to the finish line. And we're seeing that play out right now with the Miami Heat. The team aspect of it. They're outplaying the more talented team. Because you got Jason Tatum, All-NBA first team, Jaylen Brown, 6th man of the year, Malcolm Brogdon coming off the bench, a Marcus Smart, a Robert Williams, Al Horford. That's talent.
It's a
and they're
deep
down
team.
3-0.
Yeah, very deep team that is somehow losing the 3-point battle to Miami in this series. And there's literally no chance that they can come back and even win a game in this series unless they outscore Miami at the 3-point line. Miami's an amazing story. They're literally an amazing story. And I tell you what, man, that guy with the slick back graying hair that's not on the sideline named Pat Riley, and then oh my God, Spoelstra is, if there's a better coach in the NBA, I'll argue with you about it. What he gets out of that team, wow. They're fun to watch, and man, Playoff Jimmy might be the best team in the league. When he's on like that, it's amazing. It's really fun to watch.
And Ned, we've bounced back and forth in the last couple of days. Players, coaches, what are the impact? But we're seeing the best combination right now in Miami. Is you got the coach, been there, done that in Spoelstra, and you got the dude in Jimmy Butler, and their personalities just mesh up perfectly right now.
Boston's just not matching their intensity. I mean, you talk about how good the talent is in Boston, but this is a game of intensity. You have to be intense and you have to be tough. And this is showing that what they've created in Miami, the intensity and toughness, is not matched by very many people. And that's the only thing I see that's the difference. The talent that Miami is displaying really doesn't compare to that of Boston. But at the same time, I mean, a lot of times, it doesn't matter how good you are. It's how hard you play and how tough you are. And so this is an example of that. They've got talent as well in Miami, but boy, it just seems like they just are not matching the intensity of the Miami Heat, and that's what's led to this 3-0 lead by Miami. We're going to see down the road if Boston can put something together this year as well as next year when it comes to keeping this group focused and intense like Miami is right now.
And there's sports cliches for a reason. And when we talk effort, hard work, intensity, all those things, it's because they matter. And we're seeing that in the Eastern Conference Finals. There's just, as Ned said, there's just a different edge. There's just a different intensity. And those things, because it's not the Heat aren't scrubs. The entire roster isn't terrible. Yeah, they're undrafted guys. But, Bam Adebayo is a really good player that's been in the Defensive Player of the Year conversation.
He's a star.
That works so well with Jimmy Butler. But when it comes to one-on-one talent, you can be a better team and beat talent if they don't have that edge and they don't have that intensity. And if you're looking at what's different from the Celtics team that went to the NBA Finals versus the one that is falling on their face in the Eastern Conference Finals this season, you go to the head coach and, Joe Mazzulla, is he just in over his head too much as a young guy that did not expect to be in this position with all the stuff that went down with Ime Udoka in the offseason? And if you're looking at, all right, where are the edge, where are the difference, that's the place you have to look.
I'm not sure I would have taken Williams out of the lineup. Like where you can look at the other side and what Darvin Ham did to try to give the Lakers a better chance. It seemed like everything he did helped. They had issues figuring out how to guard Jamal Murray. They decided to put Vandy into the starting lineup. They used Schroeder more. They still didn't really ever figure out how to handle the incredible two-man game between Jokic and Murray. That's just the unstoppable force right now. But Boston, hasn't yet made good adjustments in this series. And let's not shortchange Miami's talent. Adebayo is, I think, a budding superstar. Not just a star, but a superstar. Caleb Martin has turned into a knockdown three-point shooter. Who would have ever thought that watching him play in the Mountain West for Nevada? We knew what an incredible athlete he is. The way the parts fit for that team, it's amazing. It's just been an amazing run considering that they lost a play-in game.
Yeah,
and now they're here, a win away from
Atlanta
the finals.
Hawks.
Yeah,
beat the Miami Heat.
Unbelievable.
And that is why the Heat are the 8th seed, because they had to go win one more game to get in to the playoffs. And that's why it's in awe. And I know Eric Spoelstra wants to shut down the narrative. He doesn't want to talk about the undrafted free agents on the roster.
I loved his response.
But I also think that's what gives them that edge, is that they have that kind of buy-in, that mentality of, we're going to ride with Jimmy. Jimmy Butler, by the way, was like the last pick of the first round when he was selected out of college.
Awesome. We don't give a bleep about that. That's a lazy storyline. That was his line about the question of, well, are you at some point going to say I told you so on these 4 undrafted guys in your rotation? And he doesn't care.
And much like we were talking about with the Denver Nuggets, they did something you don't see, and they gave a head coach time. Michael Malone, his first 3 years, they didn't go to the postseason. They didn't have a good roster, and they started to build. They made the decision to go with Jokic over Yusuf Nurkic. They drafted Jamal Murray. They gave him time to build, and you look at this team, the effort, the chemistry, that's what allowed them to beat the Lakers, and we're kind of seeing the same process with the Heat. Is you have Pat Riley, he's there. He's saying, Eric Spoelstra, you're not going anywhere, and they take 3 players that went undrafted in 2018. Gabe Vincent, Caleb Martin, and Max Strus. They back it up with Duncan Robinson, and they
also
build
undrafted.
Another undrafted guy.
You know what? A-Marie is all over social media right now. She wants to talk about your Nuggets. And we've only got like a few minutes left. We got to talk about the Nuggets. They're the hottest team in the NBA. And I know Ned's dying to say something about the Nuggets right now.
I just think they should be talked about more today.
I agree with you. They are so deep. They are so good. They are so talented. Michael Porter has come into his own. He's an unbelievable shooter. First of all, I've not seen anybody with the ability off the catch, one step and drift.
His feet are never set.
One step and drift. He's always moving, and the ball still goes in. And will somebody stand up and give KCP his props? He has become an absolute lights out, knockdown three-point shooter. Every time he's squared up, catch and shoot, it's going down right now. It is going down.
I know Ned has a man crush on Michael Porter. That's his guy.
Yes, Michael Porter is the X factor. He's the X factor.
He really is.
That's your new Jared Goff, Ned James.
He's just the X factor. There's no
baseball.
There's no answer.
Explain to Rob after the show.
It's the and it's the pieces that fit. KCP, championship role player, won a title. They bring him in.
He's a transformative player.
Bruce Brown, and Bruce Brown, a point guard, and they turned him into their backup point guard.
The game one performance that he put together for the Nuggets against the Lakers, the game that I happened to watch in person, he was off the charts good.
Ned, appreciate you, man. Thanks. We'll talk to you again tomorrow. Rob, thanks for hanging out with us for a little bit.
Thanks for having me.
Rob.
This was awesome. Awesome. Absolutely awesome.
Love perspective of the voice. Avery, we'll see you tomorrow. Great job.
Thank
As
you.
always, Adrian, good job on ProView Network. As we got the Jim Rome Show coming up next. Colin Cowherd at 1, 2 men on. Get you at 4 o'clock. And then the Topes back in action. Round Rock in town. They take over for a 6:35 first pitch tonight. We're back with you tomorrow morning, 7 a.m., everybody. Metal World, peace and love. Have a great day.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible.
These are more than just the sounds of a safe place to go after school. These are the sounds of interest being ignited and of mentors making an impact. At Boys and Girls Clubs, we don't do just one thing. We do whatever it takes to meet the needs of every kid who comes through those doors. Because whatever it takes is what it takes to build great futures. Great futures start here.
Don't sacrifice quality and flavor when you're in a hurry. Golden Pride offers ribs, fried chicken, green and red chili breakfast burritos, and Frontier Cinnabons. 4 great locations, or visit us online at goldenpride@abq.com. Golden Pride Barbecue Chicken and Ribs, proud supporter of ProView Sports Network.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible.
For your business or your home, Valley Fence stands alone. We're number 1 in New Mexico for a reason. It's the best fence you can own. Proudly serving New Mexico for over 50 years. At Valley Fence, the difference is clear. No fence too big, too small, or difficult. We handle them all.
Check it out.
What is it?
It's a time machine, bro. I could jump into the future, get my paycheck early.
I already get my paycheck early at US Eagle.
Get your paycheck up to 2 days early with US Eagle Early Payday. Now's a great time to have your checking with US Eagle.
Time machine.
Your girlfriend breaks up with you in 22 hours, 53 minutes.
Wait, what? Seth?